Well, we are back, huh? We're back at the 9 Club, everybody. Today, we have a very special returning guest. Mr. Jason Adams is with us. How are you, dude?
I am fucking fabulous.
Yes.
Nice.
I'm going to say something. You look fabulous.
Well, thank
bro.
you.
Yeah.
Bro.
That's 25 to 30 pounds less than last time.
Wow.
25 seriously?
Maybe that's maybe I'm exaggerating because I think I kind of bloated up a little more after.
You came on the show originally in May
2019.
May 2019.
Okay.
And then after the show, you say you bloated up again?
Well, I gained
what's going
weight.
on? Yeah.
Well, I just probably gained whatever, bloated.
A lot of carbs from the beer.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
and I mean, I was probably 4 years ago. I wasn't as deep as obviously I was towards the end, but and it does things to your body. It just your intestine or your insides kind of blowed up. You know what I mean, and everything.
Yeah,
but to the point where I was 30 pounds heavier than I am now.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm back to like how I was when I was like 19.
Yeah. Wow.
I'm 6'2" and 155 pounds.
What? Seriously?
Yeah.
I'm 6 foot and I'm 145.
Yeah. Well, so we're about
Yeah.
the same. Yeah.
I mean, I've been I cannot gain.
I
or
was
lose
always 155 until I was in my early 20s.
Okay.
And I partied a lot, and I was like 161.
So you think that the alcohol put is that extra
Yeah.
extra poundage?
Yeah,
Because
totally.
I'm the same way. I mean, you look like me, where it's like we're just naturally thin.
Totally.
Right.
Yeah.
And I can't. I'm 145. I can't gain or lose a pound.
Yeah.
I could do shakes. I could eat gallons of ice cream. I could eat cakes
too.
for breakfast. I could eat cheesecakes for dinner.
Same with me.
I could eat a pie for lunch. Nothing. Won't gain a pound.
Me either.
Crazy.
Wow.
And so you
Until I'm raging alcoholic.
Okay. That's when the pound. That's when.
Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
So how long we been sober?
What it's like a year and 4 months. something like
Congrats,
that.
dude.
Congratulations.
Wow.
Congrats,
How you feeling now?
I feel great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What brought on the sobriety? What? Because I feel like you were. How old are we now? Just
I'm 49.
49, and this was like a year and a half ago. So you're 47 and a half. I mean, what sparked it? What?
I had known for a while that I had a problem. Like I knew it was a problem, and and I tried to quit on my own a few times, and I just couldn't do it, and then I would have my little kicks. 3 weeks, and then just fall back, or maybe a month and fall back. And I even after I came here, I would say right before COVID happened, I ended up in the hospital for a week due to my drinking.
Wow.
Oh my
I had
gosh.
pancreatitis.
What is that?
It is basically your pancreas is inflamed, and then it affects all your digestion. Because your pancreas you know what a pancreas does?
I don't
Creates
know.
enzymes that are a huge part of your digestion.
Okay.
So I was just fucked, and it would probably have been going on for a while, but it was a time when I was trying to quit drinking.
Oh.
So I started probably feeling everything, and I think your body really has reactions when it's like, "Give me alcohol."
Sure.
And it just kind of
Becomes
freaks
dependent.
out. Yeah, it freaks out. So I was like, you're not supposed to do it, but I was like detoxing at home. So I was fully going through the whole shakes and all that kind of stuff. And so I ended up in the hospital. And then when you go to the hospital and you're going through you're detoxing, the next morning, the people from the alcohol and, addiction people come in and all that kind of stuff. And so long story short, everyone's like, you need to go to rehab, you need, blah, 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 the whole thing. And then I went and kind of checked it out through Kaiser, who I had at the time. And I was just like, fuck this. I'm not going here. I can do this. You know what I mean? But I guess what I'm trying to say is I've tried to quit and tried to quit and tried to quit.
Sure.
And I just ended up falling back into it again. Like, I think I might have gone a couple months or something and then just slowly started falling back into it. And then a bunch of other shit hit the fan. Me and my wife ended up splitting up and this and that. I became just living with me and my daughter. And it started to, it's almost like I was functional. And the amount of alcohol I had to drink to maintain was insane.
What are we talking per day?
Well, back then, to when I finally said this is enough, I was drinking a handle jug of vodka a day.
Ooh.
What the hell?
And you know what's crazy is, up until the very end, people didn't really know. Like, people close to me could be like, dude, you drink too much.
Sure.
You could see it in my
Right.
face.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They
Right.
would, like, little things. Like, and
But the smell as well, right?
yeah, but that's why, for one, I ended up drinking, like, vodka or, like, White Claw. That's like, I couldn't even drink beer anymore. I couldn't even drink whiskey or anything like that. I probably did smell, but vodka is, like, the least.
True.
But I always was, like, gum in my pocket.
Right.
Always, you know, you do them. The things you,
Subconscious.
the
Start
things,
hiding
the
everything.
things you
Yeah.
go through to maintain. It's crazy how crafty you can get.
Yeah.
Right.
An addict, it's crazy how crafty.
And you
can
know
get.
that you're being crafty.
I know
too.
I'm
You're
being
like,
crafty.
damn.
You know, and so
That's a lot of alcohol to shake.
it's a ton of alcohol, and so it finally just, at the end, I knew I had a problem, and I was starting to see, and like I was saying, I was pretty functional to where on the outside, like when I was called a lot of my friends, like, I'm going to rehab, they were tripping. Like, one of my friends, Reeps, who I worked with house painting a lot, he was just like, everyone's calling me, everyone's hearing your, what, and I just tell him, I don't know, like, he always came to work on time, he always did a good job, he never like showed anything, even though he didn't know.
Right.
All the bubbly waters in a plastic bottle I brought for work were like stiff cocktails, you know what I mean? And it wasn't like I was hammered at work, I was just
You
maintaining.
were getting through
Yeah.
the day.
You know, so I was maintaining for a while, and then when it just got to a point where it, like, I'm going like this, and then it just started going like this,
Downhill.
and I just started noticing I would, you start lying about your drinking, you could start lying about anything,
Sure.
and I was never a liar, I didn't consider myself, and so it was like a mixture of things to where I noticed, like, when it came to work stuff, I was slower. I wasn't on point, which I always really kind of prided, like, being, like, doing a good job and things like that. And
Even here, you were bummed you were late, 10 minutes late.
yeah,
Yes.
I just, and then fortunately, I was never like, I'm like a happy drunk. So I was never like an asshole to my kids or, dudes,
Okay.
but I would say, like, childish things, weird little things that I would like think, but and then it just started getting worse, and I just started feeling like I was doing shady things, not super shady, but just bad decisions, and I don't really want to go into a lot of the details. It's kind of between, like, a
Of
family
course.
stuff, but
No, definitely.
I was just, put it this way, I woke up one morning, I looked in the mirror, and I was like, I don't know this fucking
Right.
person
Right.
anymore.
Were you skating during the assault? No.
No.
Okay.
No. Towards
Oh.
the end, no. I had like gotten to the point where it's like, fuck it, I'm a house painter.
That's it.
Just like, I don't even give a shit anymore.
Okay.
And every once in a while I would have little, like, pipe dreams of, like, oh, I'm going to get sober up. Just not like I'm going to skate again, it's just like, I need to sober up.
Sure.
But when you're in that mode of, like, you got to pay the bills, and you got to get up every morning. You got to get the kid to school and stuff like that. It's like, okay, after this job, then I'm going to because it takes a week or so to get it out of your system,
Wow.
So it's like, okay, after this job, and then another one comes, and then after this one, and then, and it just goes, next thing you know, a year goes by.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's a cycle.
So a lot of things kind of happened all at once. And I remember being out in my garage, and I was walking into the house, and I just, like, literally, like, sat on one of my paint cans or something, and I was just like, I can't fucking do this anymore. I was, like, emotionally, physically, mentally drained.
Right.
And like I said, I was just living with me and my daughter, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to pull this off. I'm not going to be able to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And so everything just kind of hit all at once, and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
And I'm finally willing to fully accept that I'm have a problem and I have to do this.
Right.
Because in the past, there was a lot of, I really need to, or I should, you know, and I was finally like, I want to. I'm willing to do whatever. I'm going to fess up to everybody, and I'm going to ask for help.
Sure.
You know, I'm going to call my parents. I'm going to call my friends.
Which is hard, man.
It is hard.
You feel like that everybody says like, oh, just reach out to somebody. It's not
It's
that easy.
really,
dude.
really
It is
hard.
not that easy.
Because it really shouldn't be. And it's part of the reasons why I want to talk about it.
Sure.
Because there's a lot of shame.
Yes.
But there shouldn't really be shame.
I think there's shame in a lot of things. I think it's not only like, you know, alcohol, but it's anything that you're dealing with in life.
Yeah.
It feels kind of shameful,
Yeah.
right? You can't reach out, oh, I'm having relationship problems. Oh, I'm having this. Like, it just feels, a lot of it just feels shameful. And it feels like, man, it's my problem.
Yeah, it's
not
problem.
anybody else's problem. Why do I need to bring this to anybody else?
Yeah, and there's some pride and ego,
Sure.
probably.
100%.
I mean, everyone's different a little bit, but it is, and you're finally, honestly admitting, like, no, not really admitting, but there's that feeling of admitting that you're like somewhat of a failure, but you're really not. Like, addiction's a strong thing,
For sure.
and
I mean, a lot of people go through this.
a lot of people do go through
Yeah.
it, but then a lot of people that don't really understand it, there is like a dogma to it, or like a oh, why don't you just not drink? You know, how many people just go, dude, why don't you just don't? Why don't you just not?
Yeah.
Just don't drink.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Well, isn't
Okay.
Isn't,
yeah,
Sure.
Isn't drinking
Yeah.
the only addiction? Like you can only drug that you can die from.
That's the only die from detox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
the only substance you can die from detox.
That's
Crazy.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful. Even
Yeah,
trying to get off
yeah. Like,
alcohol.
and I tried to detox on my own. And it was dangerous. Luckily, I never like seizured or anything like that.
Right.
But
well,
Because it's a shock to your system, right?
yeah,
Like,
it's just, I don't know why alcohol is the withdrawal can kill you. I don't know why.
Right.
And like heroin can't, or like meth
Right.
can't, or
Right.
you know. But
yeah, it's bizarre.
Your body wants the poison.
Yeah. What? So was there like there was a in your head you had like a mindset change pretty much
totally.
at that point?
I just like everyone has a different rock bottom. Luckily, mine wasn't like a lot of people's. I just finally reached, like, the hospital wasn't my rock bottom.
interesting.
Just that moment of me just feeling completely depleted, and also feeling like I'm turning into something else. And I kept having these like vision sounds so deep, but like this picture of, you know, I'm going down a hill, all of a sudden I'm going down a mountain and I can see the cliff. Like I kept having these like pictures, like, dude, if you don't do something, you're going to end up in jail, you're going to end up dead, or you're going to end up hurting somebody.
Wow.
And so I just luckily decided to call it before that happened.
And what? So
Yeah.
did you reach back out to that same the clinic that you went to before?
No. You know what? So I talked to my mom, and she started looking into places like locally, and I was like, I'm like, I don't want to get into anything like I saw like at Kaiser or whatever. I go, this is going to be tough. Like I was, and that's the thing too. I was terrified
Right.
to like quit and to go through the process. It was like, it's terrifying, and to go to rehab is terrifying. But so the summer before that happened, I'm part of this thing called Punk Rock Paintbrushes. It's like an artists collaborative of like people in bands and skaters and stuff like that. Nice. So we went on this trip the summer before, and a bunch of different people. Hassoy was on it, and Hensley was on it, and
Are you talking about the Flogging Molly
no,
cruise?
No. This is like all these people are part of Punk Rock Paintbrushes too.
Okay. Oh, sick.
And,
Okay.
And they did one that summer where it was like kind of skate based, so they chose a lot of skate related.
Gotcha.
Brian Bent was on it, and why am I blanking right now? Because this thing's in front of me.
It happens all the time.
I know.
Dude.
Which we got to talk about the Flogging Molly cruise because that sounds interesting. But
Yeah.
later on, we'll dive into that too.
Brandon Novak was on it.
Brandon Novak.
So
amazing.
I met Brandon Novak on that trip, and so it just kind of clicked. I was like, I'm gonna hit up Novak.
Hell yeah.
Because I mean, he knows, he's relatable. Like he'll steer me in the right direction.
Yeah.
So I just called Novak and I told him, and it was so funny because he goes, what did he say? He goes, I thought I'd be getting this call someday.
Oh wow.
He goes, not that you were wilding out or anything on that trip, but I could tell the party was over a long time ago. You know?
Interesting.
Wow.
So he was like, I'll call you right back. He called the place that he's somewhat connected with or works with.
Okay.
And he was like, call this place, Banyan, and they know you're calling. And
Wow. Makes it a lot easier to do.
totally.
Sure,
Totally. So I just
set up.
passed it on to my mom, and my
Wow.
mom called, and then
Amazing.
I ended up going there.
Dude, congrats, bro.
Thank
Hell
you.
yeah, right.
I can feel, you know, even the pain in your voice talking about all this stuff.
I'm
It's
kind of
like
shaky right now.
100%. 100%. I mean, this is something that you've been doing your whole life.
Yeah.
Right. And then here you are, 47 years old, finally conquering it.
Yeah.
Right. And like returning your life back to the way that you probably want it.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
and wanted it for a long time.
Absolutely.
So I could feel the emotion coming out. And I just want to say congrats.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I want to say thank you for sharing all that story too, because I think a lot of people out there deal with alcoholism, drug abuse, addiction, all that stuff. And just hearing it from another skateboarder and hearing it that we can overcome this person did it. This person did it. They did.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's very important, man. And I think
Sure.
it gives people a lot of hope that they can do it too. You know, it's not that far fetched.
I agree. And
you know,
and plus one of the things, like you go through the rehab process, and you know, it's like, that's a lot of it. Like you get help, and then you want to then return your story and try
sure.
to pass it along, you know. So
Right.
whenever people have hit me up just in this last year, I'm like, yeah, I'll talk about it.
Yeah.
I'll talk about it.
sick.
How long were you in there for?
I was only in there for 30 days.
Oh, I mean that's a long time.
Yeah, but they really push you to do a 90-day
Oh wow.
thing, because you do like a full like 30 days of, they call residential, and then you're supposed to go to like kind of like a middle kind of like where it's another 30 days to where you can kind of leave and come back, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And then you go to like a sober living thing. But
Oh, wow.
I for one, couldn't really, you know, I had my daughter and stuff like that, but I was like, I just need this 30 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they were on me while I was like, you really need to, because you get better results from it. But I was like, at a certain point, I felt really confident. I'm like, I got this.
I think there comes a point too where when you're ready, you're ready.
Yeah.
And I think if you're not at that readiness point, like good luck,
Yeah, totally.
right? You have to be
You have
ready
to be ready.
do it.
Yeah.
It's crazy the difference between want and need to.
Mm-hmm.
And at least
Sure.
with me,
Yeah.
it was all that. And then, but when I did go to rehab, because, you know, for one, I went in there and realized I'm not as fucked up as I think I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the sense of what? Seeing other people in
yeah,
there?
like, yeah. And then hearing their stories and everything
Oh,
too.
okay.
Yeah.
And it was really cool and interesting to like meet all these different kinds of people and realize that we're all just normal people, and all these people are probably so shamed in the outside world for how they were living. But then, you know, you get off everything and they're just these normal, you know, just regular people like you and me, you know?
Yeah.
And it just shows you how gnarly, you know, addiction and drugs and alcohol can be. But
sure.
but when I did go in, when I went in, I also had the mindset that I'm dropping all of my negativity, you know, all my resistance that I have. I think all of us as skaters are always like, fuck this and fuck that, and that's lame, and this is
100%.
lame, and I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do that. And if you mention the word God, I'm just going to say,
Yeah,
you know, and all that
exactly.
kind of stuff.
I want to be told what to do.
Yeah, and I just went in there like, I'm stripping myself of everything. And I saw so many people go in there like, yeah, I need to go to rehab, but they're like, they were like complaining about everything, and you know, any little thing, or they were being told what to do, and I was just like, you're fucked.
You got to let it go.
You got to be
You gotta
open-minded going in
Yeah,
there.
You
right?
have to just
Yeah.
go down there like naked. You have to walk in there like naked,
Right.
You know, and just be like, whatever.
Vulnerable,
Yeah,
naked.
I'm willing to do anything,
Right.
You know.
And I think that's where knowing that you're ready comes from,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's the
Totally.
want, ready, like you just
Because you already know
analogy.
that those people they're fucked. They're not going to make it.
I don't want to say, I could
Just
I
having
could
that
tell.
mindset, you know what I mean?
And the majority of people are young,
Right.
You know, it's like, but it's funny because like the alcoholics and they're all like the old guys and gals,
Okay,
you know,
right.
and then everyone else is like fentanyl and heroin and meth
good
and stuff
God.
like that.
Damn, dude.
How did skating play a part in all that? Like the rehab and trying to get sober, and even after the fact, did you pick up the board at all? Was it a part of it, or did it?
You mean right after?
I mean, just during the whole process or after. Was it skateboarding there for you, or was it did it come later?
You couldn't skate while you were there, right?
No.
Yeah.
Well, not while you were, but in the process of
Yeah.
doing all this, because I mean, the process could be that month, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months from that time, right?
Well,
Were you skating at all? I'm trying
beforehand, you mean?
Oh no, like after getting
Yeah.
sober.
Oh yeah, instantly.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's what I was asking. Like,
Yeah,
did
yeah,
skating
yeah,
play
yeah.
a part in helping the process?
Oh, dude. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because now, I'm back to that. Well, for one, I'm like, it's one of those things where now it's all I want to do again.
Mm-hmm.
But when I get to that point of like, I want to strangle somebody. I want to break something. I'm like going stir crazy. Now I just go skate.
Yeah.
That's like the thing where for years I just was in this horrible negative mind space of just like, I need to move on. I got to do other things, or I need to try to hustle some money, or I need to, it was like, then I'd get all like pin up and I wouldn't go skate, but I was drinking and I was just in a bad place.
Sure.
I was in a negative place.
Right.
I was definitely a LaCroix half empty guy where I'm
Okay.
a half full guy now,
I love that.
So now, I'm like, okay, I will drop anything. I don't care if there's a deadline. I don't care if there's this. I'm going skating. A lot of times I just go by myself.
Sick.
And I don't really get out much, but I do definitely. That has
Played a big role.
helped huge.
It's always been there for us.
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
It
for
really
sure.
has.
I don't know if a lot of other people have something that they could fall back on
No.
that when they're trying to go through
Yeah.
a process.
It was
Like,
huge.
Yeah.
It's been huge.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
So how often are we getting out skating now?
I mean, it's.
Still painting? Still doing house paintings
I
and
haven't.
stuff like that?
I
Or
haven't
what are we-
house painted since last spring.
Okay.
But tomorrow I go look at a job.
Perfect.
Oh,
But you've been doing a lot of art stuff.
Yeah,
You've
I
been
was
doing
doing a lot of art stuff, and because I came out of rehab, and I just jumped. I instantly had a job, and I just jumped. Like, what am I going to do? I was like, took a job, but it was different. Like I didn't mind house paint. I still don't really mind house painting, but when I came out, I was just kind of like working. I was like, God, I used to enjoy this, and now I'm like, God, there's so much more you can do. It's like. You have more talent than this kind of attitude, you know what I mean?
100%.
And then I just started. I got one gig or one art show lined up, and then they just kind of kept coming, and I kept lining stuff up and lining stuff up and lining stuff up. And then I had a little bit of money put away in like a retirement thing, so I was just like, I'm just going to take a little bit of money out and give me a little buffer. I'm just going to do this art thing and try to hustle. Not a lot.
We had a little Jason Adams retirement fund going on.
Trust me. Not anymore. Not anymore. I just needed a little buffer just to take some time to figure some shit out,
For sure.
And so I just did a bunch of art shit and skated, and just tried to settle in. But
Love that.
but recently I'm like, all right, you need to kind of start spinning a few more plates. So
What kind of plates we spin?
what I mean, like, do some skate stuff, make some Slappy Hour shit, do some art shows, do some house painting.
Yeah.
By the way, the Slappy
sure.
Hour,
Oh, yeah.
Slappy Hour shit is so sick, dude.
Oh, thanks.
You got a whole. We got the website, Burning Boy Limited,
Super dope.
LTD.
Yeah.
LTD.
Yeah.
You got to have something to get a .com.
You got to. And nowadays, you pretty much got to make up words to get a .com. But you guys rad stuff. I mean, like, it's so funny, man. Like the Slappy thing. It's like it's so. As we get older, right? And I've said it on the show so many times. A broken record when it comes to this, but like slappying, I should say, finding a new way to skateboard has helped me keep sane
going.
and keep going, right? Because like at some point in time, it stops where I can jump on a ledge that's 4 feet off the ground, and not, after 2 tries I'm done.
Yeah.
So having that and finding that is like a blessing, because it's also new. Like I'm used to alling into a grind, not bashing into it. So I'm down at the curbs with Raj trying to learn stupid shit.
Yeah.
It's not stupid. That's the dude. You guys are taking.
It's stupid shit though. You know what I'm saying? Like to a skateboarder who has skated big ledges and stuff like that, and now I'm trying to switch.
I don't like your attitude, Chris.
I don't like it either.
I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean, though.
I get what you're saying.
You're like, I can't believe I cannot switch blunt or whatever the fuck it could be. It's so simple.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's like you're learning this again you're learning to skate all over again.
That's how I grew up skating.
Right.
So like when I started skating, the Slappy was the thing to do, like your first thing that like I can hang with all these fuckers at Alpha Beta parking lot.
Alpha Beta parking lot.
Exactly.
I grew up at Alpha Beta parking lot. My whole teenage years was in Alpha Beta parking lot.
Yes.
It could be a movie. If I could write, I would write a movie about Alpha Beta parking lot and a shy kid growing up in the suburbs. But
sounds like a goddamn
and all the fucking,
college movie. Alpha Beta parking.
Yeah. We had one of those too.
Yeah.
With the loading dock in the back.
Yeah, loading dock in the back. You milked every inch out of every part of that parking lot.
Yeah.
And then you had the pizza place right there with the video games and everything. You had everything right there.
That's hilarious. This is
Frogger.
exactly what it was in my hometown.
Yeah.
Alpha Beta with
That
the
was your
pizza
life.
spot.
After you ollie off the loading dock about 5 times, going for a slice.
But I know what you mean. And so I grew up with that. And even throughout my whole like time in skateboarding, I still would, for me, would throw in that stuff because I never left my childhood.
Right.
I always wanted to bring in my child. Like, how do I take what I grew up with and then make it now? But
sure.
But then when I about 10 years ago or something, when I was kind of out of it, I just found some curbs and I was just like, and the thing is, you can go by yourself.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Right.
And you can just shoot out there and you're not going to get kicked out. You don't have to drive everywhere and stuff like that. So I don't know if I probably talked about this when I was here last time.
But it was 4 years ago.
And then I just kind of made my own story now, I guess. But we were just talking about Slappies and when
see, I didn't grow up with that.
Yeah.
Like I would go on tours and I would see Mike Carroll and Rick Howard and Kenny Anderson slapping in the parking lot. And I'd be like,
That's
guys, let's wait till we get to the spot, man.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, one of my regrets. I wish I could have gone and learned Slappies in the parking lot of a Motel 6.
Yeah.
With Rick Howard and Mike Carroll and Kenny Anderson.
Right. I mean, I was able to do them back in the day along with you, Jason, but I got to a point where I just like, I ain't doing that either. Right. But I still was there. You know what I mean? I could still do it. I just kind of neglected it and left it
But I see people
as is.
People are getting like really gnarly with it now, though. Back then, I was like, oh yeah, dudes can slappy. But now it's like people are getting tech.
Yeah.
Well, it's becoming it's became a thing.
Oh, it's took on a life of its own for sure.
Like you're seeing Dylan Jabe out there slapping, and I'm like, oh. Okay, let's wait a little bit, kid. You're making us look bad, but like...
It's funny because I've watched the whole progression because I started... So I found these curbs and then J.J. Rogers, a good friend of mine, was working in San Jose and he would stay at my house 2 nights a week. And at first there was a mini ramp by my house that we could skate. And then for some reason we shifted. I'm like, dude, I have these curbs. He's like, yeah, I've been wanting to skate curbs. So I knew on Tuesdays and Thursdays... JJ was coming, and we'd go to my curb spot.
This is in the what year?
10 years ago.
Okay,
maybe a little longer. I think I've been in my house 10 years, 11 years.
Early 2000s.
Not early 2000.
Oh, late
2010,
mid 2000s, I should say.
Something like that. 2010, 2011. I don't know.
Yeah,
around there.
So it's some year.
Yeah, and we just started 2 times a week. It was just like that's what we did because it was so. It worked for us, and I think I'm going back to you brought up the Slappy Hour thing.
Yes.
So I'm just going to tell you where it came from.
Please.
And then Matt Eversole caught wind of what we were doing. He's like, I want to go with you, And then, he's like, I want to go film. We should film. And then I was probably like you, like, why?
Yeah.
You know, like he was like, we should go film.
It's almost like
curb
nobody wants to
stuff.
see this
I'm just
shit.
like,
Yeah.
why? We're two old guys going out because we still want to do it, and this is all we can do right now. You know.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, dude, it'll be cool. And then so me and Matt during the day went out and filmed one time, and that he's like, you should come up with a hashtag because you know it was kind of still early Instagram-y, and I'm all, ugh. And then the first thing that popped in my head was Slappy Hour. It just popped in my head. And I'm like, well, what about Slappy Hour? It's like, yeah, cool. So then me and Matt just started
Amazing.
like going out and just filming clips, and then next thing you know,
Next thing you know, it's a brand. I mean, you got. You got products.
it's a hustle.
There you go. We'll take it.
But I mean, look at. I mean, you not only do you have your art on this
I love that
Burning
Jason
Boy
Lee.
Limited, but yeah, you got the Jason Lee.
Super dope.
Wait a minute, look at this. Did you bring us one of these? This is sick.
Skateboard
You stepped
too.
on it by accident. Looks like.
Oh yeah.
You. Is that a Converse
Yeah.
sole? Yeah, okay. See, I know my soles, man. Look at that. That's so.
Yeah,
sick.
I made a
Watch
bunch of
this.
those.
Iconic.
How long does it take you to make something like that?
That's easy, but
Yeah.
it always depends on what I want. Like because it was the whole we'll skate for food. I'm like, I want this thing to be fucked. And so I had a bunch of those 11 by 14 pieces of cardboard because I put them in my prints,
Okay.
and then I just cut it real quick because I wanted it to look like a street art kind of just shitty stencil. And then I just kind of went boom, poured coffee on it, just kind of. And one day I just made 15 or 16. of
Dude,
them or
that's
something.
awesome.
Okay.
Super dope.
So yeah, it's 11 by 14 stencil, spray
Yeah.
paint, coffee stained on cardboard,
And then stepped on it.
and stepped on. But it's rad. You got wheel bearing combos. We got more art. We got wheels, Slappy Hour Speed Lab wheels, 54s, 56, 58s. Got beanies. I mean, you got
So rad.
got rad stuff, dude.
How long have you had the
Thanks.
website?
Well, this one's brand new. So I also still have this. I had two separate stores. I had like my art one and then my Slappy Hour one on Cellar Door.
Oh yeah.
But I've had a
okay.
website in the past. I've done it through Big Cartel, which is this is. But I've done it. I've been doing this for like 12 years.
Okay.
Like having an online presence of selling stuff.
Okay.
But just recently, I decided I wanted to combine everything in one.
It's smart though because it's
Yeah.
like your brand, right? It's
Well,
you.
that's what I would think. I'm like, I'm not trying to do Slappy Hour as a brand. I'm just trying to be me.
Yep.
And do
Right.
try to hustle just do my thing.
Yeah.
One
So I'm like,
stop
I need to
shop.
put it all into one thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes perfect sense.
yeah. So I just put this up like a month ago.
Rad.
Rad.
Oh, so this is brand. This
Yeah,
is
just
new.
the
new,
Burning
new.
Boy thing,
Burn-
yeah.
Okay. I mean, you got full.
do the-
You got custom window pig decks.
Those are,
Flaming
yeah. I
star
just
decks. These are dope.
I just like will custom grip boards. People get stoked on them. Like
That's
I
rad.
kind of like how I grip my boards.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
This
that's
is all-
that's all. Is it a board that's already gripped?
So that's a board like John will give me these one-offs or like whatever, something that's off, and then I'll like this one I painted on the bottom real quick, and then I did a grip tape job.
That's so
Wow.
Dude, the grip tape. I'm telling you, the grip tape looks phenomenal. You almost don't even know that's grip tape in the,
Yeah.
right at the beginning.
That's
On
fucking
an Eric
rad, man.
Nash shape, stencil painted, exposed graph. Man, it's great stuff, dude.
Wow.
So that's
How long?
Thanks.
That grip tape must take a while.
I've got it pretty down now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
125 is a good price.
I
Well,
know.
I wanted to make it rideable.
Yeah.
People, you could. I do some grip tape boards that are like
nobody's
more,
gonna ride
but
these,
I put
bro.
they some do.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I'd save it.
But sometimes I do like way more detailed grip tape ones, and
Okay.
I sell them for more,
Amazing.
which are intended.
That's what I was gonna be. Dude, I'd be like at least maybe 250.
250,
for that,
right?
For sure.
500? No.
But I mean, look,
Yeah,
at least you're making
but-
it like attainable.
like
for
okay,
people
like
as well.
like the Elvis one's a little more, but then like the pig one, it's like there's not a lot to it.
right.
Well, to us, it looks like a lot, but
Yeah,
to you, you're like,
totally.
oh, yeah, I could do that easily. Like,
Yeah.
But these are one-offs.
They're one-offs, yeah.
Right. Right.
But I like the idea of whenever I put Slappy Hour in something, I want it to be writable.
Yeah.
Right.
Like I want it to be affordable to where someone might write it.
I got
Exactly.
you.
Yeah.
Right.
If they want to save it, then they can save it. I have seen where people will just go put them on eBay for $350, but
I
don't-
mean,
I
that
don't-
it only makes it more sought after when people do that. But I do get the fact that it's It's annoying sometimes. Like, you know, you want
it
them
doesn't
to,
annoy me.
Yeah. Okay.
At all.
Perfect.
It doesn't annoy me.
It's kind of a flattering thing, right? But
Yeah.
it's also like, damn, why can't I should put my shit on eBay.
I don't know if they sell. You know,
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
them trying and reaching to see
Yeah.
if they can
I
attain.
don't know though, man.
They probably will eventually, but you know, and then I do sometimes, like I said, do the more detailed ones. It's $400.
There you go.
You ever
Right.
do commission work?
Mm-hmm.
People could hit you up
Yeah.
and want a specific thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah. No, it's really cool, man. I actually love the fact that you put everything into one website.
Yeah,
And like this
same.
is me. This
Yeah.
is Jason Adams. This is all me right here. Rather than like, oh, I got Slappy Hour over here.
Yeah.
I got my paintings over here. Like,
Yeah.
let's just combine
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
shit. It makes perfect sense, and I love that. I think it's dope. What is
Well,
this?
thank you. That's
Chop
like,
Shop Creative Grip Tape Kit.
That's so you
What?
can like go down to the bottom, or the second to the
This-
bottom. You can go to the
this
little
one?
yeah.
Oh, it's a
Oh.
kit.
So you can get creative,
Fancy it up.
and it comes with a knife,
Oh.
Interchangeable.
and
It's like a plastic knife, or is it like a real knife?
it's a plastic. Like,
Yeah.
Little razor blade
Okay.
type
Okay.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's all the pieces.
It's all the pieces
you get
to
the
get
pieces,
creative
you can put them
with.
together.
Yeah,
That's rad.
exactly.
I've never seen something like that. By the way,
Yeah, I don't
that's
think-
awesome. I want to
don't-
select my option. Red.
You gonna buy it, Chris?
Yeah.
Let's go.
I gotta get the credit card. I gotta get the credit card. Shit. We'll do it after the show. We'll do it after I can. Beanies are sick, but congrats on this.
Yeah,
I think it's
super
amazing, dude. I mean, like you said, you've been doing it for a long time,
Yeah.
but the combination of everything, it just works. It just works.
BurningBoyLTD.com.
Ltd.
And it comes from like my first board graphic.
Oh, okay. Is that what the top is?
It's just my like the logo I'm kind of made from that first Think board.
It's like it's like your brand. That's like your
Oh, yeah.
brand
It's
almost.
kind of like my little logo.
Yeah,
It's
that's hey, I was just talking about that with people. Like, it's amazing when skaters have that. That not too many people have like a logo that like associates.
Well, I
to
just
them.
forced it down your throat.
No, but you have like the Muska has like the silhouette thing.
Yeah.
Like this, it's pretty sick, and I think that's
Not,
pretty
and, not,
awesome.
and not everybody has that.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Graphics now are just a dime a dozen. They're just like they're spit out like on a conveyor
Well,
belt.
From early on, from when I first turned pro, like going back to what I said before, like how I just always tried to find ways to be like how I envisioned it when I was a kid. You know what I mean? Like this is how they did it in the 80s. So like when at Creature, I remember telling Russ, like, I want to do a series like the Roscop. Well, it starts and it goes to another thing and it goes to another thing
Sure.
and goes to another thing.
Sure.
And it was like Dracula with the girl, and then it was Dracula closer to the girl, then it was Dracula biting the girl, then it was Dracula, the girl's a vampire, you know. So
Yes.
Who did we just have on the show that was talking
I think
about all that?
someone, yeah.
Kevin Staub.
Kevin Staub.
Yeah.
I thought the same way. And so I've always over the years tried to kind of keep bringing things back, whether it's the Burning Boy or it's the 6-gun thing or whatever. Just kind of be somewhat consistent.
Kind of right. But that's the thing, though, is I think nowadays, not only are the companies not really thinking that way, even the skaters aren't thinking that
Yeah.
way. Unless there's a few. I mean, Andy Anderson has a board. Like, he's got one board, and he works on another board, another shape that's going to come out and supersede that board, and they're probably going to still sell that board. It doesn't happen that often.
Yeah.
though. It's like it's a conveyor belt. They're just spitting out graphics and appeasing the skate shop who has 85 SKUs on
Yeah.
the wall that
Yeah.
they want to fill up.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it kind of takes being someone like me, but also working with someone who gets it and wants to do that kind of stuff.
Right.
So like Lucero thinks the same way, and with Russ, we think the same way, and just coming from that era and everything. So
Yeah.
so if you have someone that didn't click, or you didn't have that idea or something, and the people, or if you did, who you're writing for is like, it doesn't work,
I'm a product of that though. I didn't care what my graphics were. I didn't care. You know what I mean? I mean, Dubs, right? Like,
Yeah, I was somewhat the same. Yeah, like I would tune it every now and then, be like, what about this? But it was very rare where I'm just like in there, like trying to give him ideas. I don't know. I've just.
But I mean,
accepted.
I've started skating like 91.
At 91, yeah.
So You didn't grow up in the era like I did, where like you just studied these boards with. I mean, I know a lot of people talk about this, where a pro had a fucking board.
Yes.
For days.
And it
For
represented
days.
them.
Yeah.
And the next one, even though it was like a year and a half or 2 years later, it's still
Had the same image.
it might have had the same image, but it still very much represented them. You know?
Yes.
Oh, I grew up in the Rocco era where I mean, the graphics were shocking and they just kept coming out.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything.
Which was rad because that was so new and so fresh.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I love that shit.
For sure.
And
But it changed the landscape
it did.
of what
It
we're
did.
talking about
It
right
did.
now.
And,
1000%.
yeah. So I just never left 1984.
It's a good year. I was born then.
86. I started in 86.
Oh, 86. Okay.
Yeah.
86.
So you were
85, 86.
9, 8 or
No,
9.
I think 80. It should be 86. I started skating when I was 12, right before I turned 13. I think.
Okay.
Is that the math should be right there?
Because
I'm 49.
I'm 46. So I started when I was 10. So I was 87. So yeah, I'm trying
That's
to.
about.
Yeah,
That sounds about right. Yeah, I think it was 86.
Okay.
86.
Yeah, it was the summer after seventh grade, is when I really was like, I'm in this.
Who were you, what year did you get sponsored? Shortly after 86,
Like
I would
board
imagine.
sponsor?
Yeah.
Let's see, 89 or 90.
I was going to say, because 86,
Because I was kind of late. Like, it was
40
like
years later.
I got a board sponsor, and it seemed like a year later I had a board out. It was just like, boom.
That's
What
how
company
fast
was
it
that?
happened.
That's how it was in the
Yeah.
early 90s.
What company was it?
My first board sponsor?
Yeah, or the first.
Well, my first board sponsor was Santa Cruz.
Right.
But that didn't last long, and then Think started.
Think that was your first board that we were just talking about.
So when
Right.
Think started, I just jumped over there.
Do you still have those boards?
I have one. Yeah.
Ooh.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
dope.
I had two, and I sold it because I needed money.
Jason's,
you have the
Jason's
one.
retirement
You have the
fund.
one right
It's
there.
retirement fund.
A few years ago, I had to dig into my collection.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Which is, it's, man, I always see, dude, I see like even Hasoy posting stuff on his Instagram. Like, yo, I got a bunch of stuff to sell. I'm like,
Yeah.
We got
Christian.
I got doubles of stuff,
I
and it's
know,
all good.
but
If you,
like,
as long as you're not getting rid of stuff that you don't have seconds of.
I
you
got
know?
rid of stuff I didn't have seconds of. But I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's another.
I have
way to-
so many fucking boards.
right.
And at the time, I knew the early 90s was hot. And that they were going for good money. And I was just like, whatever.
Yeah,
What's good money?
$1,200.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
that'll work.
I might give away some of my one-offs for that, you know what I'm saying?
If they're going for that, then
Yeah.
But that's a problem now. Is like, are we going to have that same nostalgic feeling maybe for some graphics, but not for a lot of graphics?
I don't know. I think there was something, just like the 80s, there was something in the early 90s.
There is, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Because sometimes I'm like, well, is it going to come around when the next generation has jobs and has money and want to relive their childhood?
Exactly.
But I don't know, because there was something special about the early 90s and the whole Rocco time.
sure.
Any original Rocco shit.
Oh, yeah.
Like World
Goes
Industries
for gnarly.
Blind 101. But then I'm looking at like Girl and Chocolate, my era, Dubs' era. Like, are those? You've had a little success selling your stuff on eBay on
Yeah,
Storage and
yeah.
Shed, but like,
For sure.
is there going to be that nostalgic feeling of like I have a huge stack of boards that are just all different graphics, like. And shout out to Chocolate and shout out. I'm not like knocking it, but like,
Yeah.
is any of those few and far between? Is what I'm trying to say.
I know what you
They're
mean.
all not going to be those graphics that are people like,
For sure.
dude, I need that one Chris Roberts board. Like, you know what I mean?
there are those for sure.
but it's
They're out
few
there.
and far between.
There's a
I
couple.
agree.
There's not a lot. Yeah.
There's
It's
not a
like-
lot.
I had
And,
a few
and
styles.
not just for me though, for everybody though that came up in the that era.
I think one thing that Girl and Chocolate did was the series is that made certain series really captivated. I think a lot of the collectors. So I think
Yeah.
those ones are very special.
Yeah.
you know, and
We
then
put
the
'em
off,
on the-
and then the off ones are obviously, you know, it's not everyone is going to be a hit.
Sure.
but there are going to be those ones that, you know, are like you said,
But
far few in between.
we just came up in a time too where it's just a conveyor belt.
Yeah.
And it was just
Yeah.
it's not anybody's fault. It's not the company's fault. It's not
It
for
was
them
just
putting
it was what was going on during that time of skateboarding.
totally.
Yeah.
It's just it's not, like I said, it's not anybody's fault. It's just it was the landscape
Totally.
of
Exactly.
what was going on. I got a skate shop filling 100 SKUs on the wall.
Yep.
Dude, it's if I look back at when I was growing up, there's not a lot of boards that would be like, man, I really need that board for the wall.
Right.
There really isn't. Like, you have the Muska one, the Silhouette, which is big in my age. I have a Carol board, the Tar Heels one, like they redid that recently. I got that one.
That was cool.
But like, there really isn't like this board. Like it was boards I want that I skated mainly, not really the graphic that it represented. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, I had that when I was a kid. I want to get that one again. Just so have.
So that's a nostalgic part of it. is having that board.
Yeah.
But how many people had a Chris Roberts board? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
And I think it also with collectors, it kind of, there's a certain group that are into a brand and an era, and then it kind of, there's a trend that goes on, so then it becomes a sought after thing, you know. It's like it, and so if you're not on the right, like I can only sell for a good price my SMA stuff and the Think, you know, that's the thing. It's not Creature. Just a year later, it's SMA.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
No, but it's the time. That's
yeah,
what
but
they
that was
remember.
that earlier. It was that night. It was just that time.
But a year later, it's funny.
A year late, yeah.
Yeah, that don't matter. Even if you put the date, the year, it's like, nah, we want this. You know.
There's a board, chocolate board, but it was a front grills. They had grills of cars, and mine was like a BMW. For some reason, it was a classic BMW like that a lot of collectors liked. So that it became a well sought after board outside of the skateboard industry, like car people wanted.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's not even in the skate industry people want it. It's the car people. I think I got a couple. I'm gonna have to look at those.
That might be the one.
Might be the one. Might be the one,
for
Dubs.
sure.
But you can't call it at the time either. How many of these to save? I mean, we're all in the moment.
No, I didn't.
You know?
Yeah, I didn't. I just wish I would have saved all my T-shirts.
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
Wow.
I know. It's like, how do I get rid of this stuff? Like, it just is gone. Like, I don't even know. Like,
Well, plus you're skating in them, they get ruined. Like,
I happen to have a few old SMA T-shirts, and they were old. They were stained.
even then,
Dude,
I mean, nowadays
sold
people,
those too.
Seriously,
Yeah.
Have you tried getting them back? Have you tried like buying them off?
No, T-shirts go to Japan.
Oh yeah.
That's where they're paying the big
But
bucks.
but I don't know anything about that stuff. I just have my friend Palmer, who I met around that time, and he's into all that stuff.
Okay.
And I think I probably met him because he just hit me up on Instagram, like, "What do you have anything or whatever?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I got this or I got that." And then we just became friends, and then he would help me.
Right.
He's like, "This is
He's
worth
already
this.
in those circles. Like,
This is worth this, or this is worth that," or he would buy it.
amazing.
And so I got rid of all kinds of stuff, like,
yeah, you need help to see what.
but other
yeah.
stuff too, like old Gons and Black Flag board and shit
Wow.
like that. Some of my Salman stuff I saved.
Oh, by the way, oh my God, thank you for bringing up Salman. We just had him on the show.
I know. I just watched it.
Did you?
Yeah,
The Don't Tell Salman.
yeah. You don't
Dude,
remember? I talked
I
about
remember,
that.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
I talked about it when it came on. It was funny because I was watching it. I'm like, yes, our stories match up.
Right. Right.
I do remember correctly.
Because you guys. Wait, was it you or like some of the other people that you knew that were posting those flyers?
It wasn't me.
It wasn't you.
No, it wasn't me.
But
It
you
was
were at
other
the,
guys.
the demo.
I was
that he
at the
showed up.
demo, and when I came here and told you the story, it put me in this dilemma because it's the older guys
Okay.
in the Alpha Beta crew, back to the Alpha Beta crew.
Beta.
You know, and it wasn't too long that they had accepted me. You know what I mean? And Salman was considered one of the older guys, even though he's only like a year older than me. But you know,
Right.
that time, a year older.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And I looked like a child, and Salman was already like fully man. Yeah. And so they did this whole thing, and they're like, "You can't tell him," you know what I mean? And I'm just like,
And you're his friend. That's it. Yeah. Now
And
you
so-
look like a dipshit.
yeah. And
being
then I'm
there.
like, okay, but I gotta go to the jam. It's like the biggest thing.
Right.
It's such a big deal at the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of
This is gonna be
course.
such a big jam. And I remember just going, fucking. And sure enough, I said this last time. I'm like getting ready to go to the fucking jam. It's
at your
Salman.
house.
Yeah.
He's not at the front door.
And I don't remember what I told him or how I shook him.
He already knew at this point. He's seen the
He
flyers.
didn't know at this point.
Okay.
He didn't know at this point because I was like, okay, and this is what I told in the story. Like, this is when I shift. Like, I felt like such a piece of shit for it, and I realized like fuck these guys. Salman's my fucking friend, you know what I mean? But they're the older guys, you know. But anyway, so what happened was then I just blew him off or whatever, and then so he just took the bus to Grimmick, the skate shop, because he didn't have it. He couldn't find anyone to skate with. Like no one was skating that day. Why is there no one skating this day?
Nobody's telling Salman about the skate
my
jam.
mom's not letting me go, you know. So he went to the skate shop, saw the flyer. And then I remember skating at this thing, and then here rolls up Salman, and I was like,
oh my God, I just shook this dude.
I'm
a dick.
So shitty. So shitty.
Did he say anything to you?
No, he didn't say shit. He never
But that's the
fucking
kind
brought
of
it
guy
up.
that he is, though,
No, he
right?
didn't. I don't know if he just kind of understood my situation, or he never said shit. He never was bummed at me. But from that day forward, I was just like, you know what? Fuck these. Not fuck these other guys. I was still friends with them, but that was just when me and Salman were like,
that was
all the time.
The defining moment, maybe. It was funny to hear it because on the show you were telling the story first, the Don't Tell Salman skate jam or demo, whatever it was, and then having Salman come on 4 years later telling that story.
So good.
It was the funniest shit because like hearing him tell it back was like he knew he was that guy.
Yeah.
He knew he was that guy at the demo that was snaking people and doing stuff, and that's why nobody wanted him at that demo because they knew that he would be just snaking and running amok. He just wanted to skate.
It wasn't so much that they didn't want him there, like, oh, he's a kook, we don't want him there, because there was going to be hundreds of people there. Some of those skate jams were just like
massive,
a blowout, you know, and they were just fucking with him because they had been fucking with him because
he was that guy.
He was that guy, but even they were just lame. You know those kind of people that are like, this guy's getting good and he's so gung ho, and we got to put a stop to it. We're lazy and we're partying and we're doing whatever. He's getting good. He's in our face, so we're going to talk shit about him.
Sure, 100%.
You know, so it was like sitting around going, and they called him Xerox because he was just trying to get better. So they thought, oh, he steals all of our tricks. We do something, he learns it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which I was always there and I watched what was going on. He wasn't, he said he was that guy, but he really wasn't that guy. I didn't take it like that. It was like, to me, he was just wanted to learn.
Sure.
He wasn't, I thought he had style to it and tact to it. He wasn't that, I know those kooky guys, you know, who follow you around and like when you're looking, they do it.
We've all been on those sessions. We all got names for him too.
He was more like the boxer going to the ring, you know, like just that. Yeah. Fuck you! I'm gonna destroy skateboarding right now. Yeah. And he wasn't really even considering what everyone was doing, or he was just learning everything. They were wrong, way wrong. I think he wasn't kooking it at all.
They were intimidated.
But I think
they were intimidated. Yeah. They were jealous.
Yeah,
100%. But I think that he did acknowledge, though, that he was the guy that just wanted to skate, and he didn't care. He would snake people. Oh, he would at demos. Like he was ruthless.
He was fucking ruthless.
Right. Like, which made people not like him even more. But look who came out on top.
I know.
Out of all the people that were there.
In San Jose, like those mini ramp sessions, you kind of had to be like that.
Right.
Like if you couldn't snake, if you couldn't just drop in, cross your and make it through the three other people that dropped in, or go,
you were never going to get a run.
It was like getting into the fucking ramp was harder than skating the ramp, you know. So you kind of had that mentality, but yeah, he was gnarly. Yeah. One time we were skating this mini ramp, and it was that thing, and I mean, this isn't that crazy, but when you're kids, it's kind of crazy. So they both dropped in at the same time, and Salman's like, fuck you, I'm not stopping. You knew Salman was never going to get out of the ramp. And then he would start getting closer to you to like literally run you off the ramp, you know what I mean? Or so he was getting closer, and the kid, they end up running into each other, and Salman just looked at him and just grabbed his board and hucked it like two fucking fences over, you know what I mean? But it was that kind of shit he would do all the time.
Wow.
But when you're like 15, that's what you're like, holy shit.
It's like, man, you should have stopped. You should have
Yeah,
stopped,
you
bro.
should have stopped. And he just like
this
had
is
that
what
look
you
on his
get.
face, like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
I mean, he's a man.
do you got?
He's a fucking
Intimidation
bro.
factor.
Yeah,
dude.
what? Yeah,
That's funny, dude.
Yeah.
You gotta love that though. Like back then, you gotta.
That was a
like,
part
you
of
know,
it.
Like
Yeah, that was-
I mean, almost every skater got picked on. You know what I mean? Like everybody kind of went through like a hazing type
Yeah.
shit. You
Almost
know?
every single skateboarder.
You know what I mean?
feel like 'cause you
Not
first-
me, but like everybody else. You know?
you either get picked on or you're savvy enough to just sit back and watch for a while.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
more of the
sure.
kind of savvy, and
Right.
I knew I was really quiet when I was young, and like so I just was willing to like sit back and watch because I didn't want to get picked on.
I guess
you know?
saying that
So,
everybody
like,
got picked on was
but I
you
was
know what I mean?
very like aware of if I fuck up, if I say the wrong thing, if I
Yeah.
get in,
I'm gonna hear it.
I'm gonna hear it, or I'm gonna get, as we used to say, vibed.
Vibed.
Yeah.
You don't
For
know
sure.
what you're walking into when you first start skating. Like,
No.
you don't know the landscape. You don't know who, like the language. You could easily fuck it up real quick.
Yeah, dude.
But some people, like probably a lot of us, dude, like you either naturally kind of know, like I need to observe first, and then some people are just blumbering
100%.
idiots,
100%.
you know, and they're just like loud, and they're just
And
They jump right in the deep
jump
end.
right in the deep end, and they're cooking it. You know,
I don't-
Fortunately,
yeah.
I'm not. I wasn't that. I was like sit back and watch.
I was kind of the same way though. I was more quiet and more kind of timid, and just would kind of like find my little
Yeah.
alley.
Yeah.
You know.
I remember going to Huntington Park when I was a kid. I was like 11 years old, and I just wouldn't skate. I would sit
Yeah.
there and watch. I went there. I would go there multiple times and just sit there and watch and see what people did.
Yeah.
and then be like, okay, I could skate there. I could skate that, and I'll let them. I'm not gonna get in anyone's way. It's a really weird because no one's there teaching you any of this.
No.
you're
You
just
gotta-
fully absorbing it, which is kind of cool. But
That was
Yeah.
Derby for me.
yeah.
Derby.
Derby was a heavy scene.
What was it?
What
What was
kind
that
of
like?
park
Well,
What
it was the first time I went.
We're talking
was
about early
probably
80s? I mean, I'm sorry, late
1986,
80s, late 80s,
86. It was right after I started skating. But for one, it's in Santa Cruz. And I mean, skating, was just the attitude was a lot tougher back then, you know what I mean? And then you have Santa Cruz where it has the surf mentality. And I think I brought this up last time too. And you go to the bowl and it says fuck San Jose. Like really big all on the dish, you know what I mean? Like and it might have been at different times, and I want to say there was another one that said Valleys Go Home, or it might have said fuck San Jose, Valleys Go Home. So it's right off the bat, you're like, you're kind of
They don't like anything south of Santa
it's
Cruz.
no different than fucking Valley Girl.
Sure.
I'm a Val jerk from the Valley, and they're the fucking beach kids. You know what I mean?
So it's surfing aspect of territory
Yeah.
is the gnarliest. I
Yeah,
think.
and that's Santa Cruz.
Yeah.
Like, that. So the first few times, it was definitely like sit there and watch and wait for them to get tired. But also watch how, because there was a system how it all worked. Everyone went down at the same time. Then everyone stopped at the bottom until the leader of the session said going up, and then everyone started pushing. And then it was like it wasn't one person went down the snake run. It was like everyone's going down the snake
At the
run.
same
And if you fall,
time.
you better get the fuck out.
You gotta
You
watch
know?
it. Yeah.
I loved it.
Wow.
I fucking loved it. And so, yeah, for the first few times going there, it was more like sitting and watching, waiting for the little like lull time. And then to get in there and not be able to carve and, you know, whatever else.
And then at that point too, like the older guys are almost accepting
men.
because of the process that you put in to get into that run, right? It's not like you were just a kid that
I
just
don't remember
jumped
actually
in.
getting vibed because I was so cautious.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Though is like they were more respectful, or
I don't remember
accepting.
any respect
Respect is wrong
towards me whatsoever.
Accepting that here's this kid that jumping in because we've already seen him on the sidelines observing all this stuff.
I don't
maybe.
think they paid one flying fucking attention whatsoever to it. Back then, not at all.
okay.
Not at all.
Right.
It was like, stay out of my way, kid, and that's cool.
Right.
You know, and you would just wait until the waves got good.
We got to see some old derby footage right
Yeah.
here
Oh, what?
from Skate TV, I believe.
Yep, that would be that time
Sick
before they
spot.
added all the concrete.
We went there on a chocolate tour one time. Really fun spot.
Super fun.
Yeah.
Is this still there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
I skated it like a couple weeks ago.
That's so rad.
Santa Cruz.
Wait, so who's all skating here?
I saw Fedge. It looks like Andy. Is that Andy Roy? No, it's too old for that time. Mm-hmm. I recognize Fedge. That's it.
It's so funny, man. How? Well, I wonder when Derby was built.
Yeah, that's just the thing.
70s.
No, it's yeah,
late
probably
70s.
early 70s.
Early 70s. Wow. It's so funny, man.
When's the last time you've been back there?
I went there a couple weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How was it?
It was a blast.
Yeah.
That's a leg burner now.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
That's a fucking leg burner.
Is it like in a park area?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's like houses right on the other side of the fence.
Mm-hmm. It's just like you're like driving through a neighborhood, and then all of a sudden there's a little plaque that says Derby Park, and there's a path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to literally park in the neighborhood and then walk through the path. That's one thing that I really enjoy about this show is like putting the pieces together or hearing separate stories from two different people.
Yeah.
Sometimes they match up, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
So many people. That's not how it went.
Oh, dude.
I'm like, dude.
It's
Hear
pretty
that
funny.
all the time.
It's pretty funny.
You might be the first one I've ever heard be like, it lined up.
Yeah, it did.
It did.
My memory served me correctly.
That's awesome.
There's one thing that we brought it up earlier because I'm super. You guys, you went on like a cruise, the Flogging Molly.
I've been twice.
You've been twice,
and I'm
now.
going. And you probably saw something about the one that's coming up in November.
Okay. Yes.
So I'm going again in November.
How are those things? First of all, I've never been on a cruise before. Yeah, maybe would I go? Yeah, I probably would go just to check it. I don't know, right?
I
But
can
it's
tell
kind
you
of
that-
freaky not to be able to see land. I don't know.
Yeah.
Before
For real.
Before I went on the first Flogging Molly one, I had absolutely no desire to go on a cruise whatsoever.
Okay.
It just, you know, it's like
Yeah.
shuffleboard with a bunch of old people. You know what I mean? Or just
That's
like
what you envision.
families, and I don't know. It's just,
Do they still have shuffleboards on cruises, or is this
Yeah.
yeah?
yeah.
Okay.
Is that like the main event there?
I think I actually.
I like shuffleboard.
I was gonna say, I would actually
I
like-
realized I like shuffleboard. But on Flogging Molly cruise, you're not thinking about shuffleboard. This one will be different because I'm not drinking. And the Flogging Molly cruise is a booze cruise. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's wild. But
And you still want to attend?
I almost feel like it's a bad influence for other people that might be struggling. But I came out of this, like, it doesn't bother me.
Nice.
Like, I could be around it. It's not like I'm salivating. Like, I don't want it.
Yeah.
You know, like the idea of it makes me sick. The idea of it.
Okay.
I wasn't quite like that right out of rehab, but now I'm just like, ugh. Like,
Couldn't even.
granted,
imagine.
there's times I'm like, I want to be out of my head. I want to, but I don't want it. I don't want to drink. You know.
Okay.
But, and unfortunately, I don't like anything else. So, it's not like I'm gonna go I'm just stoned all day long. You know what I mean? Like, fortunately, I don't like being high. So
Okay.
Yeah.
So there is no other option.
there's no other option. But I know I don't have a problem going. I'm actually looking forward to it to have a different experience. you
Yeah.
know?
Just give people right now a kind of a concept of what it is. I mean, like it's a flog. Like a lot of bands play.
So basically,
You
Flogging
skate-
Molly runs it,
Gotcha.
and it's basically like a 3-day like warp tour thing or something on a boat. So there's a bunch of bands. If you're on the boat, there's always bands playing. So when this one's on the main stage, there's one setting up in the ballroom, and then. And it kind of goes back and forth. And then there's other little stages.
24/7.
While you're not 24/7,
okay.
but throughout, if you're on the cruise, you know, probably up until like, shit, sometimes, I don't know how
2
late it
p-
goes,
2
because they'll have
3
these
a.m.,
things
3
in this small little like lounge area where like, let's say Matt Hensley will get together with the guy from whatever other band, let's just say,
Oh, and they jam.
and they'll just jam. And so everyone will be in the lounge area, and it's like a little lounge act,
Rad.
like a makeshift lounge act.
Oh,
you
that's
know?
sick.
And then there's another there's like 3 main stages, and there's like a club area, and there's the club stage. So you can almost not see everything going on at the same time.
Wow.
But the thing that I noticed that really like made it cool, because if you think about this, all these people packed on a boat, just boozing all day long. So you're like, what a nightmare. You know, like imagine there's just going to be blood and fights and stuff. It's not at all.
Okay,
It's kind of
okay.
like, imagine all these people from all over the world going for the same reason.
Yeah.
So it's all like there's like an instant kind of like
Bond?
kindredship, you know, bond. Like everyone's there to have a good time for the same reasons, the same music, and it's like everyone just gets along.
Right.
And
where does the journey start and end?
Yeah.
it starts in this one starts in Miami. They've all started in Miami, and then it goes to like Belize and somewhere in the Caribbean.
There's
and,
some
skating going on.
Well, that's why you're
that's
there,
why I'm
right?
going, yeah. But I think Punk Rock Paintbrushes is going to be on this as well.
Amazing.
So they're going to have like an art exhibit that goes on as well.
What would they set up there in the past? A little mini ramp?
Just a mini ramp.
Okay.
The first time I went on it, it was because Matt had the idea of he wanted to do the music, obviously, and then skateboarding and art. So he wanted to have this trifecta thing of combining everything.
So this is Matt Hensley's
Hensley.
kind of vibe idea.
His idea for
Okay.
the ramp and the art and everything.
Oh.
And then so he invited me, like, I definitely want you to go. I'm like, yeah, cool, I'll go. And then nothing came about. Like when the cruise liner that they used or the company they were going through at the time were like, you're like, yeah, we want to put a mini ramp on the boat. And they're like, fuck you.
Oh, wow.
There's no way. You were out of your mind. So they're
Like liabilities and stuff like that.
They just didn't get it.
Yeah.
You know?
Huh.
So they're like, no way. And then he's like, well, just come and we'll still do the art show or whatever, and it'll just be you. He's like, well, I invited you, so you're going no matter what, basically. So I just got to go. And we were they put my art off in the corner somewhere.
This is the first one.
Yeah, this is the first one. And the second one I went on, they had the ramp.
They got the ramp.
Yeah.
How much something like that cost for someone that wanted to go?
Like a ticket?
Yeah.
It's really, I looked into it, it's not as much as you would think.
Like $1,500 or something?
No, it's less. It's
Really?
like $800 for like the cheapest
For
room.
a 3-day
It's like-
excursion?
I think it's 3 stops. I think.
First of all, dude, they're giving away cruises right now. I don't know if
Yeah.
I haven't looked at
And you
a
can-
cruise ship for a while, dude.
You can literally go live on a cruise boat
I've
and
seen
pay
that.
less money than you are paying rent.
Rent.
I saw that. You could live on a cruise ship for like 300 or 30 grand a year or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, okay.
It's not a lot. And on the
Yeah.
Flogging Molly one, it's like free booze.
Seriously? So you pay $800?
That sounds dangerous.
We got to get there too. So you got to fly there, right?
Yeah,
Which
you
is
gotta fly
on your
there.
own dime,
Yeah.
right? Then you got to the cruise and everything.
But I don't know how that works. I don't know if the Flogging Molly one offers like package deals with I doubt it. You have to fly there.
What are they renting a boat like a Carnival cruise or so? Are they renting some
I
type?
don't
Like
know
how
the
did
details. It goes through is it still through Norwegian?
Norwegian?
I think.
they do? Huh.
So there's a lot of
Here we
people
go.
that can
Let's-
fit on
let's-
that
let's
boat.
see
I
what,
imagine.
let's see what this is.
It's
Oh,
probably
let's-
one of the
this is,
smaller ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
so-
still
join the
big.
waiting list.
Still, I mean,
Because some of those are
a
just
cruise
insane.
liner.
Oh, some of them. Oh, look, owner's suite, 4,000, 2,000. Join the waiting list. Looks like they're sold out.
It's sold out like in 2 days.
4,000 for what? Oh, just a package?
What's
Well,
the
no.
cheapest?
This is the owner's suite. You got the family penthouse, but you go back to
The top ones, right?
the top ones, $1,300.
Okay.
4 guests, $1,100.
not
5
bad.
guests.
I haven't
is
looked
not
into
available.
it since for like years ago, and I remember it being around $800 or $900.
That's not bad though.
For-
$1,100 for 4 people.
Yeah.
Each.
Yeah.
Huh. Get the best stateroom now.
And that's for like 5 days, 6 days?
You said
I think it's.
you said 3 days maybe.
I think you're on the sea for 3 nights.
Okay.
What does it feel like to be out in the sea like that? Like, do you get?
my God.
Do
You
you
can
get?
barely even feel it.
You barely feel it.
It kind of every once in a while you kind of feel this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Because the bigger the boat, like
Right.
that,
Yeah.
you don't feel
yeah.
as much.
But it was weird skating.
Oh wow, yeah.
Oh, for sure. That'd
Oh,
be
interesting.
But I mean, I wasn't in the best
State.
in practice or
Yeah.
the best
Maybe
shape by
the
any
boat was
means.
docked at this
Yeah,
point.
but- no, because I remember like being on. So they had to tether it down. So there's these tethers on the ramp, and you'd be standing up there, and these tethers would be tight, and these ones would be kind of loose, and you drop in and take your run, and then get up and look, and these would be tight, and these would be loose. You know what I mean?
it's
So it's like
shifting.
shifting. So I couldn't
Okay.
tell if I was just fucked up. Or if you were actually feeling it move as you were skating, because it was hard.
Maybe a little bit
Yeah.
of both.
Maybe a little bit of both.
Hey, by the
Definitely
way,
a lot of one and a little bit of the other.
this is what bugs me out about cruises, right? Interior, no window.
Yeah, those are the
Okay.
cheap seats.
Good luck.
Yeah,
Good
that
luck.
is.
I'm not doing that. This is a little porthole.
Yep.
little better, but still, I need to I need to be able to see outside, right? Then you got obstructed views. Picture perfect window. See, I need to be able to go out. I need to go out of.
You chill on the balcony.
I need to go out on the balcony.
Yeah, same.
The first time I went, I had the little porthole.
Okay.
And then the second time, go up. I had
Okay,
I believe we had a little deck.
Oh, you had a little
Nice.
deck.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yep.
The club balcony suite.
Yeah.
Dude, that looks pretty tight.
I'm going. Well, what I really need is the owner's suite.
Yeah.
That's what I really need. See this nice little red chair? I don't know why
Yeah.
I want that, but I do. You know?
It pops.
Yeah.
What would you do? I can't imagine Chris going on a cruise.
What you
dude.
talking about?
What would you-
Shuffleboard all day, bro.
That's amazing, bro.
Let's
So
go.
This is in November.
It's in
Do we have the
November.
square footage on this thing? What do we got?
What, the owner's suite?
Yeah.
Total approximate 700 to 800 square feet.
Hey,
That's
not
pretty
bad.
big for
Yeah.
on a
Hey,
a boat.
The balcony side's 151 square feet.
Damn.
That's
Bigger than the room.
My house is like 1,100 square feet.
There you go. There you go.
Wait, and so how much
900
is that
square
one?
feet.
Like $5,000 or something like that?
Yeah, it was about 5. Yeah. Anyway, so you're looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Different view of
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, sick.
When is that again going?
November something.
Oh, it's not so late in the year.
No, yeah.
Should be very
Shout out
cool.
Matt Hensley getting
Yeah.
it done, right?
Mhm.
What did Matt Hensley have ties? Was he just a musician, artist that was going? How did he get involved in it?
If I remember the story, I believe he would because they used to play a lot here in LA at a place called Molly Malone's, and that's why they and then when they played, they didn't have a name, so that's why they ended up calling themselves Flogging Molly because they flogged Molly Malone's to death. That was just where their gig. They like a
Okay.
and I believe he went and saw them there, and then ended up meeting some of the people in the band, and he had just kind of started playing the accordion a little bit, but couldn't really play it that well. And their accordion player like quit that night. It was something like that, one of those crazy like
Wow.
movie kind of stories. And he
like,
and
did
they're
you bring your accordion tonight?
Well, no,
trunk?
they didn't need it that night,
Oh.
but they're looking for an accordion player, and he's just like, I play accordion. And then they're like, really? And you're gonna have to have Hensley on there to tell the story.
100%.
But he basically went home and just started like
Practicing.
and then went to I guess his audition or whatever and got the gig.
Wow.
And they had no idea, no clue he was skated. They had no clue of his background because
Okay.
he told me this one story where, and they'll never fess up to this. I'm going to add to this as well.
Okay.
But, so they were like had a gig at some place or whatever, and then they were like out front of the gig, and these kids were coming up to him with like his shoe and shit,
They're
and like asking him to sign autographs, and everyone in the band like, why are
Yeah,
why are they
They're asking
asking
the
us?
accordion player?
Yeah, why aren't they asking us for autographs? Like, why are they asking?
He's
us
not
to
even
do
that good at accordion.
And they're like, what the? And then they're like, what the fuck? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm pro skater. And they're like, they had no clue
Wow.
whatsoever.
Amazing.
And then I really
So
think
good.
in the early days they gained traction because of him.
Wow. Okay.
Because
That's
I
what
remember being aware of it right after he got in the band, so we all instantly were like wanted to like it and liked it because they're fantastic.
Of
You know what I
course.
mean? And their first big show where Matt told me the story. Like I remember they came to San Jose, and we all knew they were going to come to San Jose. And this was in the days of like when we did the whole BMC thing. Are you guys familiar with the BMC?
What is the BMC?
The Beautiful Men's Club.
Was Salman Agha part of it?
He was a part of it. Well, okay, we didn't talk about the BMC last
I don't
time.
remember this
think
at
so.
all.
I don't think so.
Okay, this was like
Did we? Maybe we
mid
touched on
'90s.
it.
The BMC.
Let's come back to the BMC.
Okay, so we knew they were coming to town. Corey O'Brien had got them a gig at like the main music like club venue in San Jose. So back then we were so into raging, partying, and downtown and bars and clubs and everything. So it was back when the BMC I was kind of one of the dudes, like, so anytime we would have events, so like get on the landline, call everyone. It's suit night. It's fucking suit night. It's suit night. It's fucking suit night. You know, call everyone. Flogging Molly's coming to town. It's fucking suit night. It's fucking suit night. Flogging Molly's coming to town. So they come, the place is sold out, and it's just fucking raging. The huge majority of us have suits on and just fucking raging, you know? But Matt told me later, I just figured that's how their shows were. He goes, dude, San Jose was the first night where after the show we all looked at each other, we're like, I think we have something here. You know what I mean?
Oh,
That was like what kicked them off. And from that show on,
with the suits,
not with the suits,
okay.
just
you just I'm
blending the San Jose show. I mean, it might have been a lot of it because we all tried to rally everybody to go. You know, because we love Matt.
And Matt Hensley,
yeah,
100%.
And I don't think the band really understands that. Probably a lot of people in the early days that went to see them
we're going to see Matt Hensley, the accordion player.
Yeah, and if they ever hear this, which they won't, would be like, no, that's not.
Well, I mean,
they probably have to give some.
I think in the beginning, though. I think in the beginning.
Any man in the chair?
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah,
can you help out with that?
We got to get
What's
Matt
that?
Hensley.
Can you help Matt get in here?
Yeah,
I would love that.
Can you play the accordion too? That would be sick.
Yeah, tell him to bring his
I'm
accordion.
sure he would.
We just lost our accordion player, actually.
Yeah. That was good, Chris. That was good.
Listen, that's what I'm here for, man.
I have mine in the car.
You can easily fill in.
I don't leave home without it, just in case.
I trip on the accordion. My mom can play that hella good, and I trip out. That's a whole different.
Accordion is such a bizarre instrument.
It really is.
But it works. That's crazy.
What a great
If you know Matt, it makes complete sense.
See, I have to.
Absolutely.
I got to admit, like, I'm not a Flogging Molly fan. Like, I'm not. It's just not on my radar. You know what I mean? So, just to hear that story though is amazing. How he got on in there. Wow, that's so good.
I like it too.
I'm gonna
that
start
it's not-
listening to it.
A lot of like some people would be like, "Oh, this guy's a pro skater. Let's get him in here."
Yeah.
It's like it is cool that it's very organic and not like, "Oh, we're using this dude's likeness."
Absolutely.
And I tend to agree, though. I mean, like, Matt Hensley was such a force in skateboarding that, like, there has to be a draw for him alone with the Flogging Molly. There has to be.
Absolutely. There definitely is.
Of people that don't know about his skateboarding.
Oh, that people know.
Yeah.
They want to go see him.
They were brought on to Flogging Molly because of
Matt
him
Hensley.
being involved
Right,
for
right.
sure.
And I think that was part of their to help them grow in the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why we wanted to go, and a lot of people in San Jose wanted to go. It was like Hensley's playing.
Yeah.
It wasn't Flogging Molly's playing. It was Hensley's playing.
Yeah.
Is this? Can we even play this? It's got a nice sound.
It's pretty amazing.
It looks hard.
No,
It
yeah, it
does.
looks
It really
incredibly
does.
hard.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot of buttons.
He's got strapped to his chest.
You've got buttons on the right, buttons on the left.
While pulling that thing out
And an air
in
funnel,
and
yeah.
out. Yeah, dude. That's amazing. What an instrument that is.
Yeah.
We put it. That was our intermission. We put in a little intermission sign up. Amazing, Matt Hensley, dude. If you can get him to come here and sit down with us, it'd be incredible.
If you can lock it in while he's at home, like he's
always.
I think he's about ready to play
touring.
LA
Really?
on
Oh.
St. Patty's Day.
Where is he? Where's his home base? Where does he live?
He's in Carlsbad.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's funny,
Doesn't he have
I was
this-
just at his house yesterday.
Seriously?
But he is on tour because I had to go pick up. He was storing art for me, so
Am I tripping?
his wife was there.
Doesn't he have a restaurant?
Not anymore.
Not anymore?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I wonder if he could play the 9 Club song with the accordion.
I'm sure he
He
could.
probably could.
That would be so.
That would be
dope.
pretty tight.
So we're looking forward to the cruise, the Flogging
Oh, yeah.
Molly cruise. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Now, I don't drink that much, right? But when I'm around a lot of drunk people, I kind of get aggravated. I want to go off into my own little zone. I don't want to be around all that stuff because, like, I'm not on the same level as them. You know, not always, but majority of the time.
I'm like
that's
that
my
now.
vibe.
I'm like that now.
Are you really?
I mean, it can be a bit annoying, and you don't feel like you're on the same level.
a whole different level.
And now that I don't drink, I've realized how antisocial I am. And but yeah, it'll be interesting on the cruise. But the thing with the cruise, you can go do other things. You can go to your room. You can go to, you know, you can go to the restaurant. You can go do this. You can go do that. But it will be interesting to see what it's like, and if it is, I know it could be.
Do you drink non-alcoholic beers?
No.
Yeah, I don't understand. I wouldn't want to drink that.
I drink to get drunk.
Yeah.
I drank to socialize. It was a crutch for sure.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh man.
I just realized how bad of anxiety I had. You know, and never realized it because I'd had it since I was a kid. You know, and just this is how life is. That's why I love to drink so much.
How do you thwart the anxiety now?
Medication.
As in
prescription.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So you got that. You have that bad of anxiety.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I don't have panic attacks.
Okay. Okay.
And I don't have like where I can't function. But it's just it's constant, you know, and it's also just they put me on it when I went in.
Okay.
And then when I came out, I tried to I'm like, I don't want to be on anything. I want to see what it's like to not be on anything. And I was like, fuck that.
Do you think
fuck that.
Do you think at any time you couldn't get off of it?
Possibly.
Yeah.
I just have bad anxiety, but not crippling anxiety. But it just makes life smoother. And it doesn't take it away. You know what I mean? It's like, so if it makes your life like this, it just kind of
evens it out a little bit.
Things aren't just such a punch in the face.
Okay.
And you can deal with it more. So basically it's like I was worried I was going to be triggered, you know, and just all of a sudden have some stress or things and just go, God, I got to drink, you know what I mean?
Right.
Which I don't think I would do anymore, but.
Have you ever, there was a book, How to Stop Drinking by Alan Carr. You read that one? It's pretty interesting. Yeah, I don't know if you ever get a chance to, like, I did an audiobook and it's just like, it's interesting when you could look at alcohol differently than the way that you saw it before. Yeah. And that's what he does. It does the same thing for cigarettes too. And I've never smoked cigarette. I mean, I've smoked like 5 just for whatever the fuck reason. I don't know why. Like at a bar drunk and you're just whatever. But it's interesting to look at.
Yeah, check it out.
Cigarettes are tough.
Yeah.
It's a tough one to quit too.
But yeah, so I take. It's really mild too. And it's one like they prescribed me in rehab, and then later when I talk to my doctor, it's like
he said that's okay.
No, because he's like that. They put you on the least addictive one possible. So.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting.
It helps. It helps me.
Right. Yeah.
And everyone always said you should be on medication. Oh, man. You need to be on fucking medication, man. Fuck that shit. I don't need that shit. You know, I needed that shit.
Yeah. Do you drink coffee?
I do.
Yeah. Have you cut back on anything like that, like coffee, or?
Well, when I came out of rehab, I drank coffee from morning to night, non-stop. I ate candy like it was going out of style. I was just like craving sugar and just like coffee. But it's all of that's like I'm back down to like just have a cup or two in the morning.
What about eating? What about candy and stuff? You kind of
I'm mellowed out on eating candy and stuff like that.
Do you have a diet that you go through? Or just
no,
no.
No, I just been trying to cut out the sugar and not cut it out, but just keep everything just mellow. I've never really been like a shitty eater, but I've never been a really healthy, like health nut. I just try to like not to eat shitty stuff.
Yeah.
How is skating?
But Chick-fil-A.
How's skating for you now? Because I'd imagine throughout all the years you would skate inebriated or close to it, maybe a couple drinks. Skating now sober, do you notice any type of difference? Is it harder, easier? Are you more present with it? Like what?
Well, for a long time it was way easier skating with alcohol.
Yeah.
Until towards the end where I was just too far. It just was kind of a joke. I could still skate, you know. It's amazing what I could do on like 15 beers. Or
the fact you can do anything.
Or vodkas. You know?
The fact you can do anything at that point is pretty good.
But I'm going to start with the beginning where going back to when you talked about when I got to that moment.
Yeah.
And then was able to go to rehab. When I went into rehab, I was willing. I told myself, because I used to think I couldn't make paintings without loosening up and drinking.
Right.
And once I started drinking, I would just loosen up and just start throwing shit down, especially when I used to make more messy stuff.
You were scared to lose that.
I would, for a long time I was.
Yeah.
And then that's what a lot of times when I would try to get sober, then I would need to produce something, or I'd go skate or something, and I'd be like, I fucking just need this. I need it. And then I would go, because I'd be out there trying to paint or whatever, and just feel lost.
Yeah.
But like being kind of an anxiety person and just ADD person, it's like your mind's just racing all the time, and then that alcohol just tones everything down, and it takes your little bit of that edge away. And then you just can go like focus. So, but when I was going into rehab, I told myself, I'm like, I'm willing to never paint again. I'm willing, if I don't want to skate, then I don't want to skate.
Wow.
Like I was that desperate.
Wow.
Like
Give up
I just
everything.
won't do it. If skating's too scary now, because I really am out of practice, and you would always drink to make it not so scary. You know, and just loosen up. And I was like, I'm willing to just give it all up.
Wow.
I'm over it.
Yeah.
But so coming out of rehab, it was on both ends, like painting and skating. It was hard to get back into it. And there are times now, just like this weekend skating, going like, man, if not that I wanted to, but like 2 beers right now, it would make it a lot easier. Like, you know, I would feel loose.
Yeah.
I would feel loose, and I would take that little fear away. You know what I
Take
mean?
the edge off.
But now I can do everything.
Gotcha. It took a little adjustment.
It took a little time. It took about a year, because even like over the last couple months skating, I'm like, all of a sudden one day it was like, fuck, I can do this. You know, not just run into a curb type thing. You know what I mean? It like started feeling different.
Isn't that crazy?
It definitely doesn't feel like it used to.
Right.
But I mean, I started feeling like more control, more comfort. Like I can do more. Oh, I can ollie up a couple stairs now. I could barely ollie up a curb a year ago. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
you're also packing on 10 extra pounds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
Have you been like filming for a project or anything, or just having fun social media wise or anything coming up?
this weekend I just started
Oh,
What do we start?
like a video project.
Okay.
for Black Label or
It's just
you.
for me.
oh, cool.
I mean, there's a lot of reasons I wanted to do it.
Okay.
But mainly for me, just from this last year and going out and then starting to do the little social media things and just not feeling satisfied.
Okay.
And then realizing how much I enjoy the process. You know, of that, having a goal and having a project and always thinking about it and having that thing, you know?
Yeah.
But also mixed with the fact that I'm turning 50 in September. And also just like we talked about in the beginning, like what I've been through.
Sure.
I want to kind of make something to tie it all together. My kind of, I don't want it to be corny or cheesy, but kind of like one of those things like, look, I was fucked up and I'm fucking 50 now. And I put this project together as a kind of a motivational thing, because I can't tell you how much I've heard from people on Instagram, or I have an art show. People come up to me and go, dude, I was struggling. I read your thing in Closer Magazine, or
Yeah.
I heard your thing. It's
powerful.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
It's
and
powerful,
they're
bro.
like, I was able, you were the one to push me over the edge.
Right.
So I was like, I want to keep doing shit
Yeah.
like this, like a video project, you know?
Amazing.
So
Love that.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So are you planning to put that out around your birthday or?
the way I operate, I need deadlines.
Yeah.
So because 50 was coming up, and I had kind of loosely a lot of these ideas in my head, and my daughter one day was like, hey, Dad, what do you want to do for your 50th? And I go, I want to film a video part and do an art show.
Oh, wow.
It just popped out of my head.
Okay.
That's just what came out of my mouth, you know? So, and then from that point, I just started it, you know, you have all these floating ideas up here, and then it started to funnel. Because there's a little more I want to do to it too, because on the art side, I've always wanted to do some sort of a book or a little like nice zine or something. So I wanted to do something that's kind of just after rehab, mainly from this point to 50, like everything I make and produce, kind of put it in this capsule.
Got you.
With video skating. But with the book, I also want all the photos that Jamie takes, all the photos that Jai takes, all the art I make, and kind of combine it all into one book,
Okay.
and then obviously have the thing. But Closer's going to do a piece on it, and it'll probably launch through Closer.
Oh, the
As
video
far-
piece
Yeah.
also.
Yeah.
Rad. Shout out to Jamie Owens and
Yes.
everybody down there.
That magazine is awesome.
Really
the
is.
new
Yeah.
Closer
It
magazine.
really
Yeah.
is. It really
Yeah.
is. Great. So you're gonna. I mean, listen. It's March. Is it March? Yeah.
Yes, it's March.
April, May, June, July, August, September.
The
So
months are flying by here, bro.
We're going.
Yeah,
for
like
this year.
6 months. You got
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
Have we-
but I'm not 25 years old
I know.
getting a paycheck.
Right.
I can do whatever I want.
yeah.
True.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, but I want to push it to the as much
You
as I
need
can.
that deadline.
But I'm doing it for me.
Right.
It's not trying to promote Jason,
Yeah.
the kid,
Yeah.
Burning Boy.
Yeah, gotcha.
You know, it's
For sure.
I'm gonna be fucking 50. You know, I'm doing it for me and for anyone that it inspires. I wanted to make an
Yeah.
inspirational thing.
I love it.
Because just the little things I do on Instagram, people always tell me I'm married, I'm 45, I haven't skated in 4 years, and now I'm going skating.
I love that. We
That
get
kind of
that a
shit.
lot
We
here
definitely
too.
get that
We get
for
a
sure.
lot of that,
And it's a great feeling.
it's
really is.
powerful.
Yeah.
It's really powerful because this is kind of, I mean, it's on the same line, but where it's different though. But at the same time, it's like I don't think of us as a show like out there, right? We're just having a conversation here. It gets recorded. It gets put out on YouTube. We see numbers. Oh, this episode got however many views, right? Those views are actually like human beings that are watching the show. When you go out in the public or you post something and you get that feedback, that's when you're like, oh, damn, this is powerful, man. Like somebody's out there skating with their child because of just listening to people talk about skateboarding. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy.
I know, and I love that.
Or-
because I'm the same way. I'm just like out in my little thing, just
That's
with the
what-
filming skateboarding at 50. Cool. Like,
But that's what I'm
then
saying,
You,
it's-
you hear like, dude, thank you. You
Yeah.
know, and like, dude, you're such an inspiration. And I'm like, I'm old, and I was never really that popular anyway. It's just kind of weird to hear it, but it's really great.
For sure.
For
I just wanted to
100%.
build on it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is like how we were talking about earlier how intimidating skateboarding is. It is pretty cool that we have this platform to talk about it, and people can listen that don't know much about skating and learn, start learning from there.
Yeah.
For sure.
We didn't know as a kid. What the hell? You would watch skate videos, and that would read a magazine.
Yeah.
Right.
So now you get to like hear from people.
And,
Absolutely.
and then
Yeah.
you can directly reach out to those individuals.
Yes, and have this
just
social
a layer
media.
that we never had, obviously, until the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Well, that's when
absolutely.
it becomes powerful. I mean, I think I just
sure.
got like an email or DM the other day about somebody who was really struggling in their life, you know, and like 9 Club was the only thing that really gave them an escape from that, you know, and made them feel good, and they were like a part of this. And I almost get brought to tears because I'm like, wow, I don't think of us like that. I just think of it's the homies hanging out and
Yeah.
chilling, having a conversation, you know, but it affects people, you know.
Absolutely.
It doesn't affect everybody, but those people, man, that reach out to you, I'm like, wow, it's fucking powerful.
And I love to
bro.
respond to those people because sometimes you could take it for granted. You know, so many DMs that you get, but like when you do respond to them, they get super psyched.
Yeah,
you know what I
absolutely.
mean? And
For sure.
You feel that gratification. So it's just like, dude, this is what skateboarding's all about. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
for
pushing
sure.
it forward and having those dudes get inspired. Like that's this is coming full circle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this is what it's about.
I know. I had a moment not that long ago. Because a lot of times I'd like be laying in bed or whatever and go, dude, why do you do this shit? Like, you fucking make these dumb little paintings and you're out playing on your skateboard, which I get that. Like, I'm gonna do it no matter what. But like,
For sure.
but why are you still trying to like do it? Like you're
Because
doing.
there's
it.
a space for it.
But yeah, but
Really?
like, but sometimes I'm like, it's selfish.
You ask-
you should,
Right.
you should be out. You
It's a
should,
mess.
you should be building a real job to have, make a better life for your kids or what, you know, that kind of stuff. And I'm just like, but why do I do that? And then I started going into like, well, why? What am I doing? What am I trying to do? Am I really trying to be an artist? What do you enjoy about this? Are you really trying to? What are you trying to sell? Your 100 boards every 3 months. You know how it is now. You know, it's like, what do you do? Why are you doing this? Like, what do you enjoy about this? What? Obviously, I enjoy it for selfish reasons, but I'm like, I really get a kick out of being inspiration. I like inspiring people to make art, you know, and I like inspiring people to skateboard. And for some reason, it people are, and like,
It works.
and and I don't really think it's an ego stroke much. Maybe a little bit. Maybe
think
a little bit of an ego stroke, but
I don't think that's a bad thing.
I think it's because we're not making money doing it, so it's like I'm obviously getting some. I was just trying. What is the gratification I'm getting out of this?
Right. You're proud, dude.
Other than going out and sweating and having fun with my buddies, but I don't know if that makes sense. But I was really trying to break down why do I do this, and is there purpose to it, or
did
whatever.
you break it down, or is that question still out on the table?
The click was like, your job is to be inspirational.
Gotcha.
With your, because I was like, why do I make art? Why do I still want to be seen being skateboarding? Because it's like, I don't mean to say a job, but it's like your role. I just felt like your role is just to inspire people. You enjoy it, and it makes it. I can't really articulate it properly.
I think that's what a pro skateboarder is. I think it's someone that inspires people to go skate, to inspire.
I don't know, but it just clicked, and it made me go out and do when times are tough and hard, like financially or with what time or whatever. Just having that mindset, it pushes me through all that.
Sure.
I think that's what I figured out that night, sleepless night. It's just like, this is your reason why you want to keep pushing through and making life hard for everyone around you.
I mean, at the end of the day, skateboarding has shaped and molded us to who we are to this day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think, I've leaned on skateboarding through rough and tough times, but it's definitely always been there. And that's one thing that, it's never going to go. So, these people that are reaching out, even if they have been off of it for like 10 years, to hear a conversation, just that little thing right there to get them go skate, like just hearing a conversation, not even seeing skateboarding, just hearing it. And just hearing the enthusiastic aspect that we're talking about, we're talking about skateboarding.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, again, coming full circle, like this is who we are, so keep doing that shit, bro. You know what I mean? You don't have to question it. This is a part of you.
And it wasn't even like questioning, like, what's wrong with you? It's like, I for some reason in that moment, I was looking for some. Sometimes I say things and it sounds so hippie.
Validation.
It's just like some sort of meaning.
Clarity.
What is this? What is driving me?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it makes no sense, really. If you look at the big picture, if you're someone that isn't a skater or isn't an artist or anything like that, like, what is driving me not to take the easy road and have a more, like a more secure life, and just get, what is, like I said, I can't articulate it because you can't describe it. Right. At least.
No, it's,
and I don't know what I was searching for, and I don't know what I needed, what I was looking for that I felt I needed.
Right.
But sometimes I just would feel a little selfish in the things I was doing. That I wanted to keep being out skateboarding, and it doesn't make me any money because I want to keep pursuing my a creative side of life. It doesn't really make me any money. I'm fucking poor. I don't care about money. So for me, I'm not thinking about me. I'm thinking about my kids, and I haven't really built anything to pass on.
I mean, let's be honest,
kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
But I have this drive to keep doing this.
Right.
And what is it? And I was trying to figure out: is it all self-indulgent? And it clicked. Like, dude, no, you really enjoy these messages you get.
Right.
You really enjoy like stoking people out.
It's a passion, bro.
Yeah, and for some reason, in that moment, I never really thought much about it before. I just did what I did.
Yeah.
And I think I had some outside voices telling me that I'm a narcissist, or I'm selfish, or I'm childish, or whatever.
Right.
But
I don't think that being happy is narcissistic
it's not.
or childish.
No. I used to listen to it then. I don't think that now.
Because I think that's what it kind of boils down to, is like the happiness, right? I mean, we only get one of these lives, right? So am I going to be happy with it, or am I going to do what you just said and go another route where I'm going to just be financially stable and working a dead-end job that I'm going to hate anyway and probably be depressed in 5 years and hate my life and where I'm at in that point? Or am I just going to do what I love to do, what makes me happy? Because like I don't want to be a suit that sits down at a day job. It's every skater's worst nightmare, right?
Yeah.
Is to go into a business, go into an office and sit down at a fucking
I
desk.
couldn't do it,
You know?
And like I said earlier, like before rehab, I enjoyed doing house painting work. Like it was fine. After rehab, I was like, I'm wasting my time.
Right.
I'm wasting my fucking time. And I remember it getting to a point where either this is what I'm going to do, because it's like anything, you get into it, you're like, I need this tool now, I need this tool, fuck, I need a van, I need this, and I need this. And then, so I remember just being like, either I'm going to do this or I'm going to do this. But now, obviously, I'm going to look at a job tomorrow.
Well, you can do both.
That goes back to the I need 3 plates spinning.
But dude, you can do both, dude.
I know.
That's the best part.
I just need to be more...
Oh, no.
It depends on the job type thing. Like, okay, I could take that. I could take that with what I have. Yeah.
For sure. Again, man, I don't know. It sucks because I think we all ask the question to ourselves at times, what the fuck, what are we doing, man? Like, I know I asked it to myself all the time, like, what are we doing here? It's like, I get lost in the sauce of what we're doing here, of the 9 Club, and what the fuck are we doing? What am I doing? What is the point? What's the goal? You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it's like, I just want to be happy. I want to talk to my friends. I want to talk about skating, and I don't want to turn, make a right turn and go sit at a desk job. It's like, I'd rather do this, and, whether we're making a lot of money or not, it's fine. Listen, at the end of the day, we need money.
Exactly.
We need it.
So we're making lots of it over here.
Oh, did you see? We got a whole Scrooge McDuck. We dive into it.
Wow. No, but this
got a whole safe. We dive into.
I think
you
need a paint job.
We need a lot of. We need a lot of things here.
A couple things over here.
We actually paid this ourselves.
You don't actually.
We paid this ourselves.
I was trying to barge into the car.
But you know what I mean, though. Like, money is.
It's a
necessity. Part of our lives.
Yeah.
We need it to survive and whatever. And I know people in the comments are probably going to argue with that. Oh, bro, go off the grid, whatever. You know what I mean?
Dude,
we need it.
This show helped me mentally for skateboarding because I got injured. Like, I can't do it like I used to. I still can, but I just can't do it. This is like literally what it has made my life almost kind of keep going. It's keep me intact with skateboarding, and we're in love with it.
Yeah,
same. I feel the same exact way.
You know what I mean? Like I think about it all the time. I watch it all the time. I'm talking about it all the time. But coming here with you and I don't know, hanging out with you guys is awesome. But it's wild how skateboarding would just always be in our lives.
Yeah.
And looking back, like when I did the Slappy Hour thing, when I wasn't skating that much, I was in a negative place. I was doing that to still have my finger in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was my little thing. Like I could still kind of be connected to skateboarding. And it's also my point of view of skateboarding.
Yeah.
Right.
In the moment, So it's kind of the selfie, I get to be creative and put my little point of view in the moment of my life right now out there. Because I used to go, why do I do this?
Right.
Yeah.
No, but that right there, that's valuable.
Yeah.
That key component, that creative aspect that is just thriving you to keep doing this is there. I wouldn't want to stop that shit.
This is one of the reasons. I mean, your label kills part, bro. I'm sure you get a lot of DMs and everybody loves this part. I was going through your old comments on our on the last episode, and everybody's like, label kills, my favorite shit. Are you proud of this?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's is it one of your favorites as well, or
it's my favorite?
It's your favorite.
Nice.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite. Just it's like when there's that special time, because right before label kills, I was like, I'm done. I'm old.
Really?
I'm 25.
Isn't that so crazy?
I'm 25 and like
25.
And I had and then when I got on Black Label, I was like, I always wanted to ride for Black Label. I'm gonna go out. This is how I'm going out. Black Label.
Wow.
Because
swan song.
Yeah, I've always wanted to ride for them, but they were never really in a position to like be steady or pay or stuff like that. So I was like, now it's over, so fuck it.
Yeah.
And then it just was not only a reboot, but it was like before I never really accomplished much. I would just party. I don't know. I just never gave it a lot.
Okay.
Due to whatever confidence levels, drinking too much, whatever it was. When turn pro that young and that immature, either you can instantly thrive or you can kind of go this way a little bit too.
Sure.
And I always kind of went this way. And so when we were so I got on Black Label, and then he was like, I want to make a video. And then it was like, people started getting on the team right after I did. It was like Mike V, and then like Hensley, and Hensley maybe right around. All this stuff started happening right around the same time, and then Giant he worked out a deal with Giant, and then right around that time, I found out I was going to be a dad. So all these things were happening where even before finding out I was going to be a dad, around the time I got on Black Label, I was like, I have one more chance to keep this going. Okay. I need to clean up. So I'd already struggled with trying to clean up a bit. And then it all happened with Black Label. There was talk of the video. I found out I was going to be a dad. So it was kind of like a perfect storm.
Right.
Wow.
Of like, this is my only chance.
Like time turning on right now.
Yeah. Listen, and before this, like I would never jump down shit. Like maybe some smaller handrails early on in the day, but I just wouldn't. I was like, this is it. This is my one chance.
Going out. Yeah.
This is it.
Turned it up.
And but I knew I couldn't compete with what was going on at the time. It was like 0 days and shit like that. So I was like,
sure,
I got to get creative, you know. But it just, and once again, it was like a perfect storm where everything with Black Label for me. So it was just a magical time. That's why it's my favorite part. It was just such a exciting time. I'm going to be a dad. Holy shit. I'm terrified, but it's exciting.
Yeah.
Sure.
All the stars align. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it was like, here's my last chance. And with Black Label, and then the video actually hit. It actually worked.
Right.
So I went from thinking I'm done, I'm old, to having an actual real position in skateboarding, you know, where people are calling you.
Yeah.
Not answering the phone. So it was just a special time.
Amazing.
You know?
Yeah. I love that. And I love how, I mean, maybe because, like I said, I think in the comments, everybody was saying that that's their favorite part, you know, maybe that translated to the viewer too. Maybe that whatever you were going through translated.
It could have. And I think it goes back to the perfect storm, not only for me and then for Black Label, but what was going on in skateboarding at the time too. It was just a perfect time where it was time for something different.
Yeah,
sure.
So that video could have come out 2 years prior, and it might not have had the same impact.
Right.
Timing is everything.
Yeah.
That company stood out back then. There was no brand. I mean, still is no brand like it now. But like, when that video came, I was like, wow, it's because there was zero. That's when the company's like Girl was an alien.
Yeah.
Zero.
It was everything was changing.
Yeah, everything was.
And for me, let's say if I rode for another brand at the time and delivered the same footage that I delivered them, they probably would have been like, "You're fucking kicked off." You know. So it also is like writing for Lucero and like going like, this is the shit I'm into doing, and he's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Do that. But because there's still a little part of me going like, God, I'm gonna have to jump down handrails. Fuck, I'm gonna have to jump down this. Fuck, I'm gonna have to do this. And he's like, no, you're not.
Do you
just do all that shit? You remember that photo you sent a while back of you doing this Miller flip over electrical box? He's like, go get some shit, like, you know. So having the confidence from Lucero just to go like, do your thing, and the weirder shit I would do, the more excited he would get,
which is amazing.
Well, that's what helped it made it so different and special back then, right?
For sure.
Yeah, but so it took kind of the direction and the boost of confidence.
Well, I love that
for him to see what I really like to do and
Right.
go, I want that, and I know how to put it in that.
And
because a lot of people wouldn't have known how to take what I like to do and put it out there in the way that it should be seen.
Right.
So I was just lucky. Right place, right time, right everything.
Well, I understand what you're saying now about, like, you know, a different company would have said you're off the team, right? Because
don't
like,
give us this shit.
But it took Lucero to help you, because like we get lost in our own minds. Especially when the landscape is changing, and especially when skateboarding is just changing, and every kid is good, and just it's being flooded, you know. And we start to think like, well, I can't do that, I can't do this, I can't. Like, how am I going to compete? Right? And you were going through the same thing.
Yeah, because this conversation comes up a lot here in a lot of forums like this, but back then there was such heavy trends. So you know what I mean? It's like these kind of photos are being run right now.
Yeah.
How am I going to get
these kind of videos are being, these tricks, this terrain is hot right now. And if you try to go outside that box, it was really hard to be seen or get coverage or get backing.
For sure, for sure.
Prior, any kind of backing I've got is only because I had a connection. Only because this person thought I was cool all around. It wasn't like, well, you're a hot shot skater. It was just that one person that worked at the right place appreciated what I did. It wasn't like I said, people weren't calling. You know?
Yeah.
But John always was was always supportive of me, even when I didn't ride for him. We'd end up hanging out at the bar or whatever.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, thank God for him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, as I was just saying, we just get so stuck in our own heads of we can't do that, we can't compete. This,
and you
that,
just
and
look
the
at
other.
what you're hearing all day long, especially back then. Now you could do anything you want.
Exactly.
Skateboarding would be boring as shit. Like, really, like, if you weren't able to do that. Like, now we can, like you said, everything's on the plate now.
Yeah.
We can do whatever we want. But even then, I think at least there was that type of skating, and there was people that were resonated to it. So there was room for it. There was not that there wasn't.
Yeah.
But it sucks when you got ridiculed for skating the way you skated. You know what I'm saying? And that's just like, dude, I'm just skating, bro. I'm having a good time.
I wouldn't really say it was you're getting ridiculed.
Not ridiculed,
it's just,
but you know what I
you're not
mean.
really getting any kind of like. You're not getting very respected,
Right?
Or you are
not
getting
respected.
No, you're getting
Recognition.
You actually, someone like myself would get a lot of respect.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you're not sellable, kind of
Right.
thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
So like
yeah.
the people that like you're like we love your style of skateboarding.
Stagnant.
Now, whoa! Now we're not putting our money where our mouth is.
Right.
We love you. You're awesome. We love watching you skate. Whoa! Money? No. But you know what? I got it. I understood.
Right.
And I always got
That's
it.
hard to
but
take, though.
I got enough support to get by. So
Right.
I wasn't complaining. I wasn't
course.
bummed. I wasn't like crying like no one likes me.
Yeah.
I was just like I was fine. I was like, dude, I have rent, I have beer, I have food. I'm cool.
Yeah.
It's true, though. It's true. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what skating is, though. You do what you want to do on the board. You take a guy like Andy Anderson. Do you follow Andy Anderson
I'm
right now?
familiar with him, yeah.
I mean, like, that kid doesn't give a flying fuck what anybody thinks. He is just focused on him and what he loves to do.
Yeah, I just watched the Tampa Pro thing. Or part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid throws on a helmet. He's got his little thing. He's got it.
amazing.
He doesn't give a
He
fuck.
can skate anything.
He
He
can
can
skate-
skate, anything.
But that's what makes him so rad.
Yeah.
Totally.
You know, is like,
If he would have came out back then, I don't know.
Oh,
like it would have been.
1995.
Oh,
he would have
good
just been the laughing
luck.
stock of Tampa.
And
Yeah.
that's so unfortunate. But it was just the time. So timing is everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, but everyone. It's funny. Yeah, you said I kind of mentioned that. I was like, dude, if this is like 15 years ago. Like people would have kind of like given him a
Because
hard
there
time.
were guys
for
like
sure.
him
There
that
were.
would show up
Yeah.
at the pro contest.
Yeah.
you know,
Simon
and-
Woodstock.
Yeah,
I mean,
or
that
even-
had his own niche. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
or guys that weren't so known. There was always those random dudes that would show up at Tampa or whatever and enter the
sure.
pro contest. Might have rode for some random little company and it was totally off the wall. And you know, everyone's
whoever's on that loudspeaker
God,
that day
get
is
this
going to
guy-
be.
I mean, I always got a kick out of it because I always like anyone that goes like swims upstream. I'm like the first one. Yeah.
do it.
But as a whole, you know, there's just snickering and
Sure.
you know that kind of thing.
Sure.
But now everyone's celebrating him like crazy
Yeah.
at Tampa, and I'm like,
As they should.
yeah, the whole
Straight
crowd
up.
loves it. I mean, it's funny, dude. The crowd always loved Andy.
Oh, yeah.
It was always the crowd always loved Andy, but it was more of like the skaters that would kind of give him shit, which
Yeah.
sucks that skaters do that to each other. But I'm glad the opening
He's just
their
different,
minds.
and
Yeah.
he's just does what he wants to do.
He
Yeah.
broke.
You
He
know?
broke that
He-
wall down, bro.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
everybody fucks with him now, bro. And if you don't, like, you're bugging. I just say that. 'Cause You're not
Straight up.
recognizing that. I mean, he's a great skateboarder.
Yeah.
And that's
He's a
just
cool dude.
That's it. And he's a cool ass dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Straight up.
You spend 5 minutes with him, you love the guy. He's
Yeah.
such a great
He
dude.
just when I watched him, he has that energy.
Yes.
You know, he has good
Yeah.
energy, and
Definitely.
you can see it. Like
for sure.
It's infectious, really.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think this just stems back to like, you know, us thinking too much. You know, maybe it's the era that we come from of just, you know, not wanting to be dissed or this or
Yeah.
that or whatever the case may be. But, you know, it's nice to see that people out there just are doing them. you know, like an Andy Anderson or whatever. Because
Yeah.
like sometimes I think too much, and I'm like,
All
nobody
I
wants
do,
to.
all I do is think too much.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
Don't we all? It's a bane of our existence.
Yeah.
But dude, I'm stoked for you, dude. Like,
Thank you.
congrats on the sobriety.
Yeah, bro.
Dude, congrats
Yeah.
on everything at Black Label. Still everything going. You skating with Lucero these days,
I
and
was just at his house all weekend.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We do.
He went out skating with us. Yeah,
So
it was
is he helping put together this part with you, or is it something
kind
like,
of?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like any creative project I do. It's like, here's my idea. I have tons of ideas. I have an end goal. I know the feeling I want. Let's see how this. Let's just make this work.
Right.
You know, because at first I was like, well, maybe if I could put something, maybe I can get some funding to try to really make this thing proper. You know what I mean? And then finally, I was just like,
You got to let all that shit go.
I'm old-fashioned punk style. Is just fucking charge it.
Yeah.
But like Tim's all in.
Yep.
So
yep.
Tim, like,
He's
Tim's
the best.
down to
He's the
fucking
best,
film,
bro.
and then I was texting with him last night. He's like, "Can I edit it?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah!"
Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome.
So you know, I know it'll just all come together. It's that will and
For
drive
sure.
to do it.
For
So,
sure. You got the people around you that
Yeah.
want to do it.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, John will probably be involved,
Hell
and I
yeah.
want him to. He's a good we work well together,
Right.
You know, and he knows. He's a good person to see what I do at this age as well, and be like, "Oh, you should do this," or "How about this?" So,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
so
yeah.
it'll be a collective.
I
for
love
sure.
it, man. I love it. I would love to. We got to get Lucero on the show. Lucero and Hensley, please
Yeah.
come on the show. man.
Please.
Straight legends.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I know. Like I said, I was like, we should just both go.
Yeah.
Come on, let's just barge
We
it.
could have done
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
We could have have Lucero.
And that's when he said, I need to lose some weight.
The camera takes it all off.
Yeah.
I mean, you could raise the table.
You lower the seat here.
His head is just right there.
You're looking down on it.
Well, listen, we want to give you some 9 Club stuff to take
Cool.
back home with you to San Jose. If you don't listen, you got to drive. You're driving up there tonight, which is crazy. So we're gonna give you a mug and fill that thing up with coffee.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're ready to
All
go.
right, let's
Kelly,
do
we do
this.
the honors,
Yeah.
bro.
What size T-shirts?
Large.
Large. Okay.
How are you gonna? Do you have a filmer up in San Jose?
Tim's willing to come up. I'm willing to go down
Yeah,
here.
okay,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? I have some ideas.
Okay.
There's always a way.
Okay. First of all, dude. Oh, dude, it is so much fun hanging out with
It's
you.
always
I
fun.
always
It's
enjoy
fun.
it.
Yeah, man.
And listen, if the only way we can get Lucero on here is for you to come with him and, just hold his hand, like, let's do it.
I'd love
Yeah.
to.
You know what I'm
dude.
saying? I think that'd be great. You and
Yeah.
Lucero? Yeah.
Then we could really get into the label kills.
Yeah. Thermos,
Oh,
9 Club.
yes.
Let's
Keep
go.
hydrated out there. Also, put your coffee in there. We're going to fill that whole thing up with espresso. Here's a mug for when you get home to put all your coffee in, and some stickers for your board. You know, maybe what photo incentive.
Yeah.
We got a cover of Thrasher, $20.
It's a hookup right there, huh?
Hoodie for those cold San Jose nights,
Thank
right there.
you.
9 Club hoodie. And we just got some 9 Club socks on there, so keep your
yeah,
feet
we're
warm
talking.
with the Stance 9 Club
we're
socks. And
Oh my gosh.
what?
I haven't been that good this year.
Oh,
It just keeps coming. It just
no,
keeps
one more
coming.
thing.
This comes early here.
This is Nixon hooked us up with a bunch of watches, so we want to extend the what do they say? The whatever. Here's a Nixon watch for you.
I don't think they say
Okay.
anything for that. Yeah, you're supposed to give
No,
it to
we
them.
want to,
Yeah.
extend the
The
gift.
gift.
you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
yeah.
I
It keeps
appreciate
on
it.
giving.
The gifts
Can-
that keeps on giving.
Can I ask for one more thing?
Please.
Can I have the bag?
Yes. Well, I didn't want to just give you the bag and be like, oh yeah, here you,
You
go,
gotta show
buddy.
what you're getting.
No, I understand.
We don't have a logo on that bag or anything. It's just not a branded bag.
You should draw
know?
something on it, Chris. That's
Oh,
what you should
yeah.
do from all of them. Now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. I'll draw
Thanks,
something
guys.
on it. Have you seen my
Appreciate
drawing
it.
skill? Jason, thank you so much.
Thank
Hell
you.
yeah,
You are the
bro.
man. Thank
That
you
was
so
fun.
much.
That was a
That's
lot
great.
of fun.
Hell yeah.
Drive safe.
Yes.
I will.